What is going on, everybody? Oh my goodness. Today is a momentous day. Two of the greatest lolcows in history, they're together. I mean, when I found out that this stream happened, I immediately had to immediately stream. So today I got Mr. Wes Moast. Wes, what's going on, Wes? This is exciting, isn't it?
It's a very exciting day. Lots of exciting things happening today. Not just this, but also for anyone who's familiar, the return of Joran.
Oh my God! Yeah.
To YouTube, but I was surprised when someone sent me the link to this live stream earlier. That was crazy.
Yeah, me too, man. Oh boy. Then I also have the lovely Stephen Asarch is with me from formerly of Newsweek. What's going on, Stephen?
I now work at Business Insider.
Business Insider. So check him out. You got a Twitter. You're verified. The only person who I've ever had on here who's been verified. Stephen Asarch.
Thank you. I'm glad I can bring some level of acceptance.
This is the credibility that I demand from my guests.
What did I get myself into?
Then I also got Tiffany Lockheart. Unfortunately, we got Tiffany Lockheart here.
Unfortunately. Hello.
Hey, Miss Lockhart.
Hey.
What is going on, everybody? So yeah, this is oh, you know what? Let me go back a little bit because I don't want to ruin the surprise. But yeah, if you guys aren't aware, Onision had a stream today, and he had a very special guest, a guest that we all know and love. Do you know like how she does anybody know like the circumstances of how she ended up on the show? Like,
that was going to be my question.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that.
It looked to me like if you go back on the in the video, it looked to me that he was just having multiple people come on and kind of do reaction or reaction, some bloopers or something, and then that's why when Muse popped up, I mean you'll see, but when Muse popped up, why the comment was made, and then there was a question asked. But that's what it looked like to me. And Onision even comments at the end. I was only supposed to have you on for a blank number of minutes, but you're just so interesting. I just had to keep you on.
Maybe it'll be like a regular thing now. Like
I would love.
Well,
that.
she hopes so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what's kind of sad is that this is kind of what she wants attention so bad that like even being on Onision's channel is like good enough for her.
Well, that's huge for her.
Oh, it's
huge.
yeah, oh, of course, yeah. Just the first time she's I mean, the channel has what 1.2 million subscribers.
1.5, but there were 80 people at the stream. I think Steve had something he wanted to say.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
I believe that she also has an understanding of Onision and feels some sort of kindred relationship, at least from watching the stream. It's the only time I've ever watched Onision genuinely be interested in somebody. Usually when you watch him talk to people, he's either bored, accusatory, or somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But with the Muse conversation, he genuinely seems invested and wants to know more about her and the situation, which that's what caught me off guard.
To me, it's like when you're watching a Lifetime, like a movie, and you see someone who's stalking another person, or they're following another person and learning their mannerisms. This was a long orchestrated and coordinated first meeting where you meet up with this person. You already know how you want this conversation to go, what you would say if you met. And this was something that had been practiced from the very moment the camera turns on, and there's kind of like oh my goodness, you shocked me there to open up the interview. But I believe that if someone knows what someone likes, what they're into, you've been watching them for years, and you make it your job to try and know people so that you can manipulate them and figure out what their likes and dislikes are. It's no different than like a really good car salesman. They're going to listen to you and hear what and they're going to make that sell not based off of their 7-step sell they always use, but they're going to alter it so that each person gets a custom, unique sales pitch. And those are the most effective people.
Well, I know her ears perked up, or his ears perked up when I don't know if we should give it away, but she
Yeah,
mentions.
why tease it? Let the present give itself away.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But you'll see there's a very specific thing that she mentions that makes kind of he kind of wasn't that interested in her until she says something something specific.
Well, and the other thing too, I just want to point out, and I know that everyone's going to be aware of this, but she's been trying to get at him for a long time, because when it was her birthday last year, she tweeted at him, stating that she was the female Onision. She was waiting for the hate mob.
Yeah, birthday hoe.
So she's exactly. So she's been trying to get at him for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I mean by this is a well orchestrated. This is not some
definitely.
spur of the moment thing. She's been working towards this and trying to get into his inner circle. Mm-hmm. And once she went from the Hansen hater to once things kind of flipped around, then she became anti-Hansen and wanted to use that to get in with him, because in every message there would be a mention of Chris Hansen.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting, because when I watched the thing, it seemed fairly organic. Like, she was clearly a fan and understood it and knew how to, interact with him to get the responses he wanted. But it didn't seem as orchestrated. But I also know the only thing I know about Muse is what Wes talks about in his videos.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, what more do you, that's all I know about her too. Like the stuff that Wes brings up. But what more do you need? I mean, everybody has there's a ton of people with Muse horror stories. Yeah, she's been fucking people over on the internet for God, years.
Fucking them over and pooping on their floor.
That's true. When you poop. I wonder. Hopefully, does she?
Wait, she pooped on a floor?
She did poop on a floor.
Sure did.
Yeah, there is still, there are still more stories that haven't been released yet, and the person who Muse lived with after leaving my home told quite a story that is really sad, because this person knew Muse for years. They go back for years, and the way he was mistreated by Muse. Right down to after giving this person a place to live for free and feeding and housing them shitting on your floor as a sign of, fuck you, when you too get tired of this person taking advantage of you and you want them to leave. But they had
you know what? I don't have the text to speech donated, but thank you, Donde. Donde said, "Gah, Mary Poopins." Mary Poopins is right, Donde. Thank you, Donde.
I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
We were talking about the pooping on the floor.
No, I know we were talking about the poop, and I just don't know where I was going. But it was poop.
Pooped in the floor out of.
She pooped on the floor out of a vengeance, an angry vengeance poop.
Yeah, that's how Batman gets revenge.
They are.
Well, they were. Muse is living with them, and my second video came out. And Muse forced them to watch this video with her, and they're horrified.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's the kind of thing you want to point attention to. But I mean, as you see, that's really not an issue. But let's start this thing.
Yeah, let's start it
here.
All right. Jesus Christ.
What is?
It's the kombucha video?
What?
How far back did you go?
The problem is, I don't, the content is so quick, I just, make it and move on, that there's such fleeting moments, and because they're not that significant to me, as far as, acting comes naturally, as far as...
Is he reviewing his own video?
Yeah.
So,
It's a Jordan stream. That's what I was thinking, too.
A lot of, I don't remember that blood thing. And then there it is, and I'm like, oh, wow, so I can almost enjoy it for the first time. By the way, if someone has blood in their mouth, they're probably bleeding internally, and I would have gone to the hospital. But people don't really pick up on that.
He's doing a retrospective of his career behind the scenes.
But part of the reason why I kind of wish I could still make Meltdown videos, but part of the reason why I can't is because jackasses named Chris Hansen show up to your house when you make Meltdown videos. So
that's what happens.
What can you do?
What
happens to me every time. Every time I make a Meltdown video, Chris Hansen shows up.
That's why he thinks Chris Hansen showed up.
Well, I made a chicken melt one time, and Chris Hansen showed up, and he was hungry.
Yeah.
So that's true.
Yeah.
I will give that one to Onision. 1 point.
The old people, the fucking boomers, they ruin all the fun. Fucking boomers. Anyway.
There we go. There's our girl. And,
Speaking
okay.
of ruining fun.
Yeah, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, she has repackaged herself. Actually, she just renamed herself. She is the Shift now. She's using the Muse Talks channel though, isn't she?
Well,
Wes?
yeah, you don't want to lose those 1,200 subs.
Yeah,
so you just
yeah.
keep renaming the channel.
Yeah, so she's not doing a very good job of hiding, but
Well,
she
trying.
she doesn't want to hide. I mean,
No.
obviously, look at this is a desperate ploy for attention.
Right. Hi, what's up?
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, here you are.
Oh,
Shit.
that
whole
was
tattoo on your-
almost as good as a what? No way.
Yeah.
That was not very believable.
See, now that you said it, like now it makes more sense. Like I didn't think about it the first time I saw it, but now that like it was orchestrated or it could have been orchestrated, it kind of makes more sense.
If you go back, she's looking directly at the camera, and then does the oh my goodness. It was like Vince with the popcorn that he kept trying to make sure was in frame of the camera so that can become a meme. Very orchestrated.
Yeah.
You on your chest.
I do. This is kind of interesting because we both had Hanson specials and we're both from Washington. So I posted
Wait,
that.
what?
Donde.
Over half a decade ago when I was a sad, insecure vegan and I got his stamp of approval and it keeps me up at night.
So Donde's deepest secret is I let Onision boy rate my body over half a year ago when I was a sad, insecure vegan and got a stamp of approval.
Oh, very nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Donde. As long as is it good enough for Onision, should be good enough for
Yeah, it's
everybody.
good enough for me.
Yeah. How old were you at the time, Donde?
I had a chat on.
How did you have a Hanson special?
So did you hear that introduction?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, we're both big superstars who are being persecuted by Chris Hansen on Discovery.
And we both live in Washington.
And we both live on Washington, so we have so much in common.
Like quick. What are things I can think of that related to this person? Such an awkward force, and you can hear it was rushed, but it had been rehearsed, and there was just nerves right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She wasn't ready for her big moment.
No?
Because my exes are also very impulsive and have borderline. So.
So is she referring to you, Wes Moast?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Are you an ex?
He is very impulsive.
It just depends. It depends on the month and who she's talking to. She'll call me an ex or an abuser or her trafficker.
Yeah.
It really just depends. But no, it never went that far for me to be an ex. But I don't think I'm being referred to a lot in this. Like I don't really get discussed in this very much. Try to steer clear of the whole false trafficking thing.
Yeah. That might
be bringing up old shit.
That might be a good idea to sidestep that.
Or
I wish I was
did you dump them?
No. So I had a restraining order case.
What, Wes?
Oh, I thought that was Steve talking.
Oh no!
No.
Oh
My
man,
time will come.
That's
It was very public around the time that everything with you started happening. So I was following your case due to that.
Well, I don't really have a case in the sense that they said the FBI was involved.
Okay,
The FBI
so pause. Very accurate that case was being followed because she was trying desperately to get onto Chris Hansen's show. She was a strong anti-O and had a team of her own who she was leading to try and start her own little group to go after RSN because she saw the attention that the Onision people, she saw the GoFundMe, she saw the Twitter follow, she saw all those. And when your job is trying to promote yourself online because you make videos or whatever it is that you do, then you want those followers. You're going to need that. So, yeah, she did. She followed very closely. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the court part.
yeah. And
Also, there is an open FBI investigation into Onision.
yes, that's still going on. Stand by.
Yep.
Stand by, everybody. The FBI is
From
on the
what
case.
I know, it is a thing.
Oh, is it real? You're.
Yeah, no,
I
he's
thought
not
you.
joking.
Yeah, no, I'm not memeing. No, I'm really not memeing.
Yeah, okay.
Now, what about me?
I don't know
there
about
no-
you.
Can you look
unfortunately,
at look into that both in human trafficking
Yeah,
and
well,
Gilgo Beach murders?
Yeah, no,
Those-
let's not bring up the
Don't
Gilgo
bring
Beach
Gilgo
thing.
Beach into this. We've brought
Yeah.
these people.
That
all right?
that case is basically open and shut. Wes is gonna be going away for a long time. That's why he's going out with a flurry right now. He's streaming a lot.
Never talked to me. They said the police were involved, but the police never interviewed me. Like they showed up to my house sometimes when like the cops were called. But there was this one time I was wearing a Nine Inch Nails shirt. Dude didn't even get out of his car. There was just a cop car sitting in right by the road by my driveway. So I walk out and he has his windows down. I'm like, hey man, everything good? He's like, yeah. He's like, hey, nice shirt. I'm like, thanks. He's like, all right, you good? And I'm like, yep, I'm good. And then he drove off. Like that's what people don't understand is they said in this documentary that they got 31 calls. And it's like, okay, so out of how many of those calls did the police actually verify that anything was true? 0.
Yeah.
There was no true anything to anything anyone said. Every time they showed up, they realized it wasn't real. And then the rest of the times they didn't show up. Someone tried to swat me at one point.
He's a victim.
Yeah.
And the cops literally just...
Well, that's always been his thing, is he's framed himself as the victim. With Sarah, he's the victim. With the internet, he's the victim. It's everyone's against him. That's just always been his mentality, even if you go back to reading his high school works.
Yeah, well, that's why it's perfect that I demand to see a weekly Onision special.
Honestly, I think they would work very well paired together in terms of like a Trisha Paytas H3 podcast.
Yeah.
Like Muse and Onision, their energies are very similar in terms that they feel they want to be vindicated, and they feel like there are people against them, and that most criticism is invalid because of issues.
Yeah, people against them for no reason or is what they think, but it's not what everybody else in the world thinks.
If they need a crazy to throw it to in the field, I know someone named Crystal Metheny. Great on camera.
Yes, she is. She is good. She's good.
Sarcastic and fucking didn't even respond because they were like, they're like saying they're gonna murder people and stuff like that, and then the police were like, no, you're not. There's no way. Apparently there was
the
release recording
accusations
of it
get
too.
pretty bold with people that have their own agendas.
Yeah, dude, it is fucked up. The accusations that people levy who have their own agendas.
Yeah, it can get really bad.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I had commented in the chat about how people like to spin narratives on people, and I find it to be really interesting.
Right.
The motives don't really seem to play an account.
Now, do you know what I find interesting?
What's that? Because
the couple that Muse lived with on the farm, the nice couple where she had like the cabin of her own, and claimed that she left there because of a grooming situation. Now they were involved in snuff.
Yeah, well,
I think it's interesting that the stories just change and evolve over time to fit whatever narrative is needed at
Like
the time.
the
That's
old
very
timey
interesting.
stuff you used to snort, or like the
No,
fucking-
like
no,
snuff.
like
like actual they were doing snuff
murder
films.
movies.
Because
Snuff films, exactly.
why wouldn't they? Because you could only keep crying wolf so many times before you need to elevate it. And
I don't think I've heard that word in like, I don't know, even the last time.
since that Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah, since I was on the dark web.
Since Anonymous Gene started making them.
Probably.
But yeah, it's crazy. But people with their own agendas.
That's why her name is The Shift.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and for people who don't know, now she is like, she's fucking around with the DID community, and yeah, this whole thing is fucking stupid. I mean, like nobody watches her channel anymore, though. Like people don't even hate watch it. They just nobody cares.
Had an email exchange privately before, and I kind of disclosed a little bit of my backstory to you. If you don't have context, I apologize. This probably doesn't
So
help
right
you.
here, she thought that he would recognize who she was based off of the information she had given him.
Right.
Because it sounded like they had an email exchange at one point, and they went back
Yeah.
and forth and probably mentioned the Chris Hansen thing and figured, okay, as soon as I mention this and Washington, he's going to click and put together that we know each other.
I think
And-
she's
I
on
don't
a
believe his
Discord.
memory's that good.
Well, yeah. Well, if you're that self-involved, it's not going to be. You're only going to remember them if they directly impact you in some way. Her story about also having a Chris Hansen videos, why would that matter to him?
How does she remember that? That wasn't that Muse who emailed her. Corey and Quinn are
It
there
might have
now.
been Lil Tay.
Little
and
Tay
who
might-
knows where Lil Tay is?
Yeah, Little Tay might have been the one emailing because
Lil Tay's got to be 6 or 7 by now.
Lil Tay's very savvy with the emails. He doesn't know what a computer is, and he doesn't know who Deity is, but he's good with the emails and the texts.
Situation in any form for the live stream, but I just was here, so I happened to pop on. In terms of
happened.
I was just sitting here and then pop.
Yeah, you know what? I cleared some time out of my busy schedule to appear on your channel. My busy day of shitting on people's floor and making TikToks.
Completely unprepared.
Yeah.
Content. What else would you look forward to creating in the future if you could move past the Hanson thing?
See, now she thinks she's interviewing him, but he does not give a fuck about her questions.
No.
So and that's the thing. I don't know if they were supposed to be asking questions because it did kind of roll just from him not knowing who she was, or maybe that was in the email that was sent to him. Maybe it was like, hey, I'm this person. Chris Hansen's after me. What are you going to do now that you don't make Hansen content? Because I'm trying to figure that out myself.
Yeah.
You know, like it could have just been that, and it's just a way in. So maybe now that's what she's following up with is, oh, well, here's the question I asked. I don't really know, but he seems confused.
Yeah. Well, I'm confused.
Of course.
Oh, I'm not really interested in doing anything but what I feel like doing at the time. I'm actually mostly interested, like right now, I'm interested in what the hell happened with you.
Now, this is when the audience would go, woo!
I'm not used to that, so I will entertain that.
People are always so terrible to her.
Yeah, they really are.
Nobody cares.
All those free places to stay and the free room and board. It is pretty shitty. It's shitty when people don't allow you to just stay for free forever.
He's the only one sensitive enough to ask about her thing, even though she really just dropped a bomb.
No. How's your day?
Yeah, right. When in reality is like she just like dropped a bomb about being persecuted by Chris Hansen. Like,
of course you want to learn more.
You don't.
Yeah. Who does he hate more than Chris Hansen?
Right. Well, that's why his ears perked up for that. He might hate you more, Steve.
Yeah. I think I'm at least number 3 or number 4.
Yeah, you're up there. You're sure up there.
Oh, I'm definitely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Repzion and I think you're in there though. You're in the team photo.
Oh, I didn't even make any YouTube ad revenue.
I know, right? What are you doing?
What questions do you have?
You
I have
are
to get into journalism.
Pertaining to
first of all, what are you accused of?
I am accused of having Munchausen's, but
no, that's not exactly news. It wasn't quite that.
I don't know if you watched that. If you not watched that first video, it's not titled "The YouTuber with Munchausen."
Yeah.
It's called "The YouTuber Who Accused Me of Human Trafficking."
Right.
Mr. Onision, this person accused me of human trafficking.
Like looking at like this still like where it's, I don't see why she would be accused of anything really. She seems okay. She seems okay to me.
That's perfect.
Don't. So
why would Hansen be interested in Munchausen's?
I had moved in with somebody that actually
Wes?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
So why would Hansen?
Guess what?
Yeah, well I would love to hear this explanation. I'm sure it'll be the same.
Let's hear
it. It'll stay static.
Sure.
Actually had seen you at the courthouse when you had tried to get your restraining order.
Okay, so he asked her why and she immediately wants to go into me meeting him at the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what he asked. Okay, but yeah, let's play.
Yeah.
He had cornered you in the bathroom.
That is
inaccurate.
Oh yes, that fucker.
Yeah, that is inaccurate. I did not follow him. I followed him into the bathroom.
You didn't
and
corner?
He was just standing there. I did not corner him. I asked him a question, and then I turned around and walked out because I realized we were late, and we walked into the courthouse together, not holding hands.
I'm just gonna clip that of Onision calling you that fucker.
I've been called worse.
No, by me.
What was that? Suck my dick, Wes.
Yeah, I lived with him for 2 weeks, and then
You lived with that guy?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's not happy with you.
Come on, Odessa. What's up with that?
Yeah, that's.
I think he thinks he's talking about me. You know?
Well, no, because he knows who I was for the bathroom thing.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna bring that up.
Yeah, it's the fucker who cornered him in the bathroom, the shadowy figure who pinned him in the bathroom.
That dude was
And then
that dude's
yeah.
story was that dude told me he was from Newsweek and he just wanted to comment and he wanted to tell my
No,
side of the
no,
story.
no. I said new Sweek.
Yeah, New Sweek.
It's a Swedish shoe brand, and
Yeah.
I'm just trying to endorse folks.
That's it. He didn't say Newsweek. Why would he say that?
If you heard Newsweek, Onision, that's not on me.
Yeah,
that's on you and your poor listening skills.
Right. Hey, I mean, he's a lot of inaccuracies so far. He didn't corner
I'm seeing,
him.
I'm seeing a couple.
But I dealt with this piece of shit named Steven Asarch.
Steven?
Yeah.
There he is.
He is.
I just want to. He will never say my name right. Like, I don't know if it's because he actually doesn't know how to pronounce it, or if it's just his way of trying to demean and belittle me. But Asarch.
Yeah,
Asarch.
Asarch. I said it right.
Not Asarch.
I mean, yeah, not Asarch. I mean, I don't mind Asarch. I've been hearing it since I was in middle school, so I can handle myself. But it's just interesting the little things he tries to pick to create the straw man with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does not like you.
It's nice that you got brought up in this, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's because he despises his dad, and I am the closest person to his dad. I'm the only person I found his dad. I interviewed his dad, and he hates his dad.
Yeah.
See, when you said
Do I
closest
literally-
to his dad, I thought you meant you guys were like living together.
Yeah, you were
Like
roomies.
some sort of bachelor pad setup, because I want to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Me and Randy, we're chilling. we're preaching.
How is it a full size pool table, or did you guys just go for the foosball table?
We only have we have a full soccer field.
Oh,
in
perfect.
the bottom of a Manhattan apartment.
So that piece of shit, Steven Asarch. Or Asarch.
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 Really proved to him. I proved to him I was 15 when I encountered my dad, and I got in a fight with my dad. But they put documents in the documentary showing that I was in juvenile hall when I was 15, and I supplied documents.
Well, Steven, did you have anything to do with that documentary? Were you involved in that at
Yeah.
all? Oh, okay, I wasn't
I'm
sure.
in parts 1 through 3. I got nothing to do with 4.
Okay.
That's my comment.
Okay.
My college transcript that I was in Washington when I was 16 and 17. So no way could I be around my dad when he said I was around him. But he still, even with all this stuff right in front of him, he still said, "I still believe this dude over you."
He's
And it's
discrediting the fuck out of you. You got to respond.
Well, let him finish, and then I will explain why everything he's saying is dumb and wrong.
Okay.
You're a dumb reporter. You're like the worst reporter because you're looking at hard transcripts, hard documentation from legal authorities that say I am right.
Yeah.
That I was in fact around here, and he still ignored it. And so when this other Newsweek dude approached me, I'm like, I'm not talking about.
All right.
Okay.
Let's jump into this real quick because I don't know if I've ever addressed this publicly, but I wrote 3 or 4 stories about Onision while he was at Newsweek. One, I managed to find Randy Daniel, who is Onision's dad. In the story, Onision's dad said he was 17 when Onision kicked him in the chest, which he very openly admits and says that he did kick him in the chest. Onision claims he was 15 at the time and has showed his high school transcript showing he had like a 2-point-something GPA, which I thought was a very odd inclusion for his gotcha. But I don't work at Newsweek. I can't update that story. I would have added that comment or changed it. It's not that I don't believe you, Onision. It's that I literally cannot change that. I do not work there anymore. I am sorry, my good sir. But this is the only thing he has against me. I have, as I said, I worked on the dock. I wrote multiple stories about him, but the only thing he uses to attack my character is this one minor inaccuracy that I would change if I could. Because he has to diminish and belittle my character. And because he hates Randy, he uses me as the scapegoat to go after it. So it's just he's done it in so many videos at this point and so many things, and I'm just okay, whatever, man. Anyway, welcome to my TED Talk.
Went from Newsweek because Newsweek are a bunch of fucking idiots. There's no way. The fact, I mean, he got
I
fired.
do agree with him. Newsweek are a bunch of idiots.
Newsweek, to be fair. But just I wasn't willing to talk to anyone from Newsweek. So this dude followed me into the fucking bathroom and was like, I just want to comment.
Still not with Newsweek.
No.
Anything you want to say? I was like, dude, I literally didn't say a word to him, not even no comments, because I knew anything I said could be twisted or whatever. So I was just like, I'm not talking to you whatsoever.
What?
That is accurate. He said nothing to me. He stared at me. He says he said in a video he made a day or two after that he picked up his phone and recorded me, yeah, I'm gonna reverse it on you. But he did nothing. He stared at me like I wasn't even there. He said nothing.
Yeah, he did a pretty great, spot on impression of you in one of those rant videos too, though.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Whatsoever. And so eventually I walked out of the bathroom. I went in the bathroom to literally escape him. He followed me, and I'm like, this guy's a fucking batshit crazy motherfucker.
Do you know about protesters?
Protesters?
I love this. I love that drop that she just did.
Yeah.
You know, about the protest. I mean, I've talked about the protesters in my video. The protesters are a real thing, but let's play.
Okay.
What about them?
Like, how much of this was like a really paid setup? Because like I'm interested in comparing information here because I have direct like correspondence with Wes from that time period, and he paid protesters off of Craigslist. This is a common thing for him.
Okay, hold on. Done it once. I don't know how common that was.
Well,
I hired protesters because it was for a social experiment that I was doing, a video that I was doing. So I hired 4 protesters. Actually, I hired 6 because I figured 4 would show up, and 2 showed up. So I hired 2 people who were just walking by, like, hey, do you want to make $25 an hour? I just need protesters. And so I had 4 protesters holding signs that said, like, Vince still sucks. I think one said Chris Hansen sucked. What did it say? Free yap yap. They were just funny signs.
Sunday with cod.
Sundays with cod. Oh, there was a bake line. And Wes Moast. There was a Wes Moast sign.
That's right.
And so they were walking up and down the street in front of the courthouse for an hour before court started. I got there late. That's how I ran into Onision in the first place, because he was standing out waiting for it to start instead of walking in.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got off the elevator, he was just standing there. So I just took a shot to try and get an interview. But that was it. But I had protesters there as a joke. I was going to interview them afterwards and just ran out of time.
As the only journalist who's ever interviewed Onision, consider yourself lucky.
Yeah,
was that an interview?
Yeah,
Oh, you got the interview. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't even know what I was going to ask him, because I didn't know anything about him. I had to even ask him if he was Onision.
Yeah.
Anybody who was outside was a paid protester that he had hired.
I don't know. I just know a bunch of emo kids running there.
He doesn't give a shit. Like, there were 4 of them. Like she's making it sound like you.
What difference does that make?
You had she's making it sound like you hired an army of protesters to, to stand out in front. There were like 4 guys.
There were 4 people walking up
with Sunday with cod signs.
And the sign that said Vince still sucks.
Yeah.
Out of the courtroom.
Well, yeah, that was just the whole scene, though. That wasn't intentionally tied to anything.
Protesters what?
There were pictures on Twitter of it, but there wasn't a substantial amount of them that he had gathered.
So then what are you talking about?
Yeah, why bring it up then? There were 4 guys, Muse. I think she's doing this because like she's providing like insight for Onision. She's like doing
that's it. I'm just trying to paint a mental picture that these are bad people. Let me tell you some of the manipulative things that he's done. Before I even answer the original question that you asked me, let's get into this guy's background. Hiring protesters.
Yeah, he's a terrible person. He hired protesters.
Talking about the Newsweek guy.
Yeah, the Newsweek guy hired protesters.
Yeah, the Newsweek.
See, this is where he thinks he's got like the gotcha on me or the Newsweek guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, he hired protesters? Oh my god, this is a fucking 8-minute video right here.
Oh man.
Well, she's getting irritated because she keeps telling him, I'm not with Newsweek. And he's just not hearing that part. So he's getting frustrated, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
What would the Newsweek guy have? What would the benefit be of hiring protesters?
It's all a huge. Okay, so there's always been a connection between Wes and Chris Hansen.
That is false.
That's false.
That is part of the new narrative, the new lie that I've seen over the last few months, is that there was somehow a big setup between myself, Brittany Simon, and her ex way before her ever coming to my house, where we got this setup plan together to trick Muse into moving into my house so that I could set her up for extortion. And I'm not even joking. That story has been passed off online within the last few months. The other one is that I was always working with Chris Hansen somehow, even when I was making videos about him, and it was going through issues with Vince and whatnot. Apparently, I was working with Chris Hansen. My first Chris Hansen video is the first Muse video. But
Yeah.
I guess you can't really tell Onision on that.
That's the thing. Like our community was the first to like start shitting on Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, Baked Salmon and I were the first ones to do a video. Or no, I think Gus and Eddie actually.
Yeah, but like,
yeah, I do think it was Gus and Eddie, and then it was you guys because you're the only ones paying attention to Chris Hansen.
Yeah,
like,
no, they were very small. Yeah,
but like channel of weird Family Guy uploads.
Yeah, but we had videos like from the Kickstarter and stuff. So, but like nobody gave a shit about any of our videos before that, or our posts or whatever.
Yeah, you guys were there at the beginning.
Some people would disagree with that. Some people think that they were there at the beginning.
They've always been working together, so that's important. So he wasn't really ever working with Newsweek. That's not an actual thing. He had a one-day thing with them where he was trying to get an interview. He happened to be in the area.
So, okay, listen.
I didn't know Newsweek gave out one-day passes.
Yeah. He had a one-day. He had a one-day contract.
Can I not be a journalist? I could just trade it in for a day.
I got a guest pass.
Yeah,
I got a guest pass from Newsweek, like at the gym, and I got to experience everything that it's like to be a reporter. I even got a hat that said "press"
reporter for
on it, like Bobby Brady.
The little thing. People just throw slurs at you and say you're bad at your job.
He's reporter for a day.
It was an experience.
It was great.
Cub reporter for a day.
Yeah.
That's how that whole thing happened. He's not signed with Newsweek. You can't find any articles with him that he's written. Like, it's not something that you can fact check. It's not verifiable. So what I'm saying is
yeah, because why it's not verifiable? Because it didn't happen.
I do not work for Newsweek.
Never worked for Newsweek.
The genuine connection here is between Chris Hansen and Wes. So
this is like Pepe. What was his name? Pepe Silva.
Yeah. Pepe Silvia. Yeah.
And so I'm still confused as to what does Munchausen syndrome have to do with Hansen? Why would
Perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah. It's crazy that like Onision is the rational one in this fucking conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he didn't forget.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Onision is a smart person. Like, he's a lot of things. I wouldn't call he is smart. Every other word I won't say. But I'm willing to call him smart.
Interested in you because of
I had lived with Wes, and Wes had said that all of my illnesses were fake to use as leverage to discredit me about any.
It looks like she's reading some of the things from the chat and then replying to them.
Jesus Christ.
So.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I mean, I'm like on the fence about the concept of hiring protesters because the dude literally flew across the country. Hansen literally flew across the country.
Smart woman. Not exactly.
I drove 2.5 hours. I didn't fly across the country. Still not with Newsweek either.
Yeah.
On the coin of Mike Morse, who went to court for sexually assaulting women, which is just, it's all documented, So he went on the coin of that guy to go across the country. That's so fucking irrational that it doesn't make any sense that you would fly across the country to talk to a dude who didn't even do anything, or show up to their house and follow the person's spouse around and that person's child from location to location. This is all irrational. So when you say they hired protesters, it's possible, but I never saw any protesters. So I guess they were at the wrong exit or something. Cause I was very chill about it. I parked.
Or because there were 4 of them.
4 of them. And you were probably in the courthouse.
Yeah, right.
Irresponsible asshole outside paying protesters cash to hold stupid sign.
Yeah.
It was just like, come on guys. It was just a joke.
Yeah. And not like one of them said like something about Onision, but like the rest of them were like,
Yeah, I don't remember what it said about Onision though.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But that there was one guy with one sign where it said Onision. The rest of it was like
Bakeline and
Yeah.
I remember Free Yap Yap.
Yeah,
was-
Church
was
of
one
Cod
them.
stuff. Yeah.
So another funny thing that happened on this day was the entire time Muse was blowing me up trying to get information about what was going on, and I didn't realize it's to update Twitter to like have exclusive information coming back.
Oh.
And at the time, she was doing a lot of streaming with Deity, a lot, like always on Deity stream. And she asked me if I wanted to stream that night. Like, do you want to stream and like recap your time in court? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And for whatever reason, I assumed it was with Deity. So I streamed with Deity that night, and she was like really hurt because she was expecting me to be on her channel. To recap the day, and I went on Deity. It might still be up, but I went on with Deity and just kind of talked about what happened at the courthouse, the thing with Onision. And then the next day, Onision was making videos. He made a bunch of rant videos, like 10 of them in a row, and 2 of them he was talking shit about me.
Distant from the courthouse. I didn't want to park anywhere near it, really. Walked in, went up an elevator, tried to walk to the courtroom, but I was a little early and I didn't want to go in early. So that's when the dude approached me, and then I walked into the bathroom to avoid the dude, and he followed me in the bathroom, and then I walked back out, and then he told me where the courthouse was, even though I didn't ask him, because I looked a little confused, because I'd never been there before. So he's like, courthouse is over there. And so I just like walked towards the courthouse, went in, and I think one of the emo people told me that I was supposed to be up at the podium. So I went up to the podium. Okay. And then, I got in the elevator on my way out, and then a bunch of people got in with me, and some horrible, nasty bitch filmed me. I say she's a horrible, nasty bitch because of the fact that,
you were in fucking public, you asshole. Like,
that photo is iconic.
It is.
Really is.
Like, it is probably the other than the doc, it is probably the most like popular he had been in terms of like reach. Like that photo reached
that was everywhere.
Yeah, it was.
It was everywhere. Yeah.
The weird bulletproof vest, the oddly fitting like suit, it's an aesthetic.
Yeah, no, it was a great one, man.
Somebody knows that someone's having a bad day or is not amused by a situation. They get in the elevator with you, and she's like, "So, how's your day going?" While giggling and filming me, and I'm like, "What a cunt!"
I get it.
One of the shittiest, most sadistic things, and she's so amused by herself. I just didn't get it. And people act like she was alone in the elevator. She was like right next to this dude who weighed like 300 pounds, and there was like a couple other fucking emo people to the right or whatever.
The courthouse elevators are never like you're never alone.
Why add that attitude? Like. As in, like Onision was gonna fight this girl.
Well, no, he was saying that people were saying she took the picture because she was afraid she was in the elevator alone with her, and he's saying that's not true. There were other people there. But the facial gymnastics that the shift is doing there are just ridiculous. Everything is so over exaggerated.
Yeah.
And then when you've been to the courthouse enough that you could say, "Oh my God, the courthouse elevators are always on." Like, unless you're a court reporter or you somehow work in the courthouse, you've been to court too many times.
Yeah. She might, maybe.
And she's never alone because isn't she being carted around by someone?
You gotta have someone push you around.
Yeah, push you in the
rascal scooter or whatever.
In that iron lung.
Scared and alone. It's like they're acting like she was scared and alone. It's like actively she was just this really sadistic, nasty chick, and I didn't say a word to her, but I got all the vibes and I got all the attitude of someone who's really, really nasty.
We get vibes there, but nothing here, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say your vibe meter is broken.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard her be interviewed. She seems like nice. She seems nice to me. I don't know.
Amanda James said she might be might be a switch, and that's what all the facial tics are.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, mates.
I
just had one.
Wow.
I just had one.
Who is
It's
that?
me, English Wes Moast. And then we just do the rest of the stream like that.
That'd be great.
Got off on my floor and left the building. But that's like, and what I did was an anti-harassment protection order, which would basically make it so neither of the people involved could continue to obsess over me like the way they were, because it was like really unsettling how much of their life.
What was?
That's not a thing. Just saying these people. So taking Repsy on the court made no sense because the whole basis of taking Repsy on the court was I want this guy to stop making videos about me. But that's not a thing.
Well,
and
EDP filed a restraining order against the entire internet.
EDP is filing a restraining order against man putting flyers on poll. I can't wait to see how that one works out. But
he just wanted a cupcake.
All the guy wanted was a cupcake.
No shit.
But he was just a few years too late for Hanson versus Predator because she did make cupcakes. I don't know. He's talking about filing. He wanted to file this restraining order against Repzion. Chris Hansen's lawyer, who later became my lawyer against Muse. That's great. That's actually funny. Both of these people.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Were in court against were in court against my lawyer.
Yeah.
But that was like the first question Naomi asked was, "What do you want here? Like, you can't tell the man you can't make videos about you. You just can't do that."
Mm-hmm.
But it got Chris was never served, so it got thrown out.
Yeah. Well, not the correct Chris Hansen was never served. Yeah, it was.
It was a different Chris. That other Chris should have showed up. He shouldn't have been a dick. He should have showed up.
It would have been great if it was drunk friend Chris.
I think was it Rhode Island? It was like
no, I think it was New Jersey.
Okay, I knew it was somewhere around there.
Why
it was the same. It was the same wrong Chris Hansen from that other thing they try to pop him on. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That Chris Hansen had a bad year. He's like,
yeah. He's always getting
some
fucked with.
Onision guy.
Yeah.
I've got some crazy woman accusing someone of being the Gilgo Beach murderer, trying to take me to court.
Wes Moast is working with, or Chris Hansen's working with the Gilgo Beach killer.
Well, his belt buckle was there.
My belt buckle was there.
I'm convinced that Wes is the killer. I'm doing an expose. That's gonna be my Discovery Plus documentary.
Life I had consumed, despite the fact that I wasn't interested in them, despite the fact that it had nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
But then I encountered the issue of them being, reporters. So when someone's a reporter and you're a public figure, they have a lot more rights. And so when you go in a courthouse and you try to get an anti-harassment protection order against those people, it could be an uphill battle.
Why is she agreeing to that?
What?
She is not a reporter.
She's a public figure.
And she doesn't know what he's even saying.
No idea.
Yeah, also he's speaking gibberish.
She understands being a public figure herself, just much like Onision. She understands that, the trials and tribulations that one goes through when they're, put under that microscope.
And Steve Asarch is coming after you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm writing articles with accurate recounts from first-hand sources describing their experiences with you or around you. I'm really fucking shitting on things.
Don't want to fuck with uphill battles. I like things where it's a slam dunk win. Otherwise, I feel like I'm wasting my time. So
that's a beautiful quote from him.
That really is.
Yeah.
He doesn't like a challenge. He likes to fight straw men.
I'm not trying to work hard.
Yeah, I'm not trying to have to actually find ways to decompress and find flaws. I'm just trying to find ways to attack you based on your looks, things that I deem to be inappropriate, either your drug use or your looks, and other things, because I can.
That's my argument. Yeah, well, I like life on easy mode. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I prefer the Wes Moast as a fucker and Stephen Asarch as a shitbag. Quotes. Asarch. I apologize.
I took mine to court until I had a substantial enough amount of evidence to fully pursue that. I had 2 protection orders. I did not renew the first one.
No. A temporary protection order that you can just go to the courthouse, anyone can go and get. And then not showing up to court, that doesn't count. Getting a temporary order by lying and then not showing up to court because you know that shit's going to get blown away is not evidence of anything.
Yeah, exactly. I have a temporary protection order against Tiffany Lockheart.
And look, here she is.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, she doesn't care. She hopped right on the stream. She wasn't even invited.
She found me.
I'm a published model.
Yeah. Like, who are you, Tiffany Lockheart?
Right.
But I have an active 2-year against Wes. So
against that guy, you have So what has Hansen actually done in regards to you?
Take your hand away from yourself.
I know, that's a good point. She's all over herself in this. It's very uncomfortable.
She's constantly just touching herself, her head.
She should Cash App herself.
Her neck. Yeah.
For the amount of action she's getting.
Yeah.
Because I don't keep up with
in regards to me, mainly just talking about a sexual assault that had happened in my life, actually, and saying that it was not factual, that it never happened.
Wait, Hansen said that you weren't a victim?
Yeah.
That is not at all what Hansen ever said.
No.
Hansen made no comment about any of that.
No.
The only people who really talked about that were I had the text messages, and then Brittany Simon talked about that. Chris Hansen made no comment on any of that, so that is a lie.
Where
And
did
he
you
had
say this?
interviewed the ex-girlfriend of the person involved. I don't like to talk much about him because his ex-girlfriend literally just like posted a really bad video about him, and he doesn't have a platform. So I don't think that it's fair necessarily to discuss him. I did in the beginning.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now it's all of a sudden it's not fair to discuss him. But that was Muse though.
But I don't think that it's
Who's
necessary.
What's up?
Who's Hanson? You're not talking about Hanson.
No, I'm talking about the perpetrator from 2019.
What did
perpetrator.
Hanson?
Yeah, the Gilgo. Yeah, we're talking about the Gilgo Beach
The
murderer.
perpetrator from 2019. That's the ex.
Yeah, yeah.
And he still is trying to get back to the Hanson thing.
Where did Hanson say anything about you? That's what I'm confused about.
Hanson had made multiple videos with Wes after and before the protection order was in full effect, basically boosting up any type of like indirect contact that he could get because of the fact that he knew. I honestly still can't really fully understand why my channel got picked up because I only have 1,000 subscribers.
Okay. Your channel was picked up. You were not plucked out of obscurity. This was not American Idol. The channel wasn't picked up. The channel was reported on because I was accused of human trafficking, and then other people came forward with their own stories. The channel wasn't picked up. Well, I don't even know what that statement means, but clearly she doesn't either. That's why the stumbling.
I don't consider myself to be a noteworthy individual. I really only have any type of relevance due to the fact that I had an ex that was an ex of a well-known YouTuber, and that's about the only thing that made me relevant to that situation or that arena. They interviewed people.
You don't want to say who that ex is.
I won't. Well, he doesn't have a platform, but the person that our mutual person who was on Chris Hansen, her name is Brittany Simon, and that's how you could find the episode. But yeah.
I still don't get why you would point people out to these videos that are just full of proof, not just from me, but multiple people, multiple sources of this grifting, shitty behavior. And you would think that pointing people to them is somehow going to make them say, wow, you really have had it hard.
Yeah.
You poor thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring any attention to these videos if I were Muse.
Well, I think most of the people watching this stream live when it happened aren't going to watch it.
No, probably not.
They're just going to assume what's happening on screen is correct.
But who knows? I mean,
Easy
like,
screen.
yeah, I mean, they might. I mean,
Sure, galaxy brain take,
yeah.
but it's possible.
It's a bigger personality. That's someone famous.
Yeah,
or...
she has like 58,000. Not incredibly big because she's a BDSM educator.
Yeah, that's not friendly to that algorithm. Oh, okay. So that curly-haired woman is your ex.
No, she is the ex of my ex. Polyamory
ex,
be really fucked up sometimes.
Now she brought up the poly thing. They were never in a poly relate. Now he is involved in poly as far as I know, right? So why would she mention that? Because they were never in a poly relationship at all. Her and Brittany Simon had nothing to do with each other in that way. She would always say, I only met Brittany 4 times or 5 times, is a thing that she likes to say all the time. So the only reason to bring that up would be like, look how related you and I really are. I'm the psycho brat light of Washington, if you remember that.
To your situations because of that. I didn't even want to deal with this woman. Didn't even date her.
Okay. So have you personally, you feel like you've personally encountered certain dishonesty from Hansen?
Yes. And actively avoiding the notice that was sent by my attorney. He still decided to do one more live.
That's funny because I've asked about this notice to the attorney. I've asked him directly. There's no notice. No notice has been sent. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie, like so many other fucking lies. No notice has been sent. I've received no notice. No one's getting a notice, but because you can't say, hey, don't talk about this person because they don't like it. Or you can say that. You can say that shit as much as you want, but it's a fucking lie.
Live stream with Wes, talking directly about me, and my attorney had advised him that he is going to court as soon as my document comes out.
If you look up Hansen, he's no stranger to courtrooms, and he likes to push it as far as he can. Like he was taken to court for harassing someone like this year, I think. Yeah, I think it was this year, where he actually went to the court for harassment again from someone else. So
what is he
the guy
referring to there?
Yeah, I don't know.
The
Is he's not? He can't be talking about Vincent, can he? Like,
I think he is.
is he trying to talk about the Fran thing?
Yeah,
Like,
I would
Yeah.
guess anyway.
I don't think that ever went to court.
No, it did. It's not done yet. It's still
Yeah.
processing.
yeah, but like Hanson's on the different side of the decision or whatever the.
He's a defendant. He's a
yeah,
defendant.
he's
in
the
that.
defendant. He's not the one being accused here. He's the.
No,
Yeah, it's
no, he is the one being accused. He's the defendant.
Oh, I
He's
thought
accusing him.
There's more than
No,
one.
no. Well, the one that I'm talking, not the Vincent one that's still ongoing. I'm talking about the one with the sister where she's accusing him of harassment because of the email that he sent her, and she was saying that she was in no way connected. But I had the video where I showed, that a week or two before that she supposedly bought his domain name for $10,000. So, and she was saying no one knew I was his sister, and Hanson told everyone. But Vince even said, like, congratulations to my sister for winning HansonVSPredators.com for $10,000.
Like, I feel like he ironically doesn't respect the law, especially considering he just blatantly violated Washington state law. We have a no trespassing law where you can't be within 50 feet of a no trespassing sign.
She's
blatantly-
like, nodding her head like she respects the law or people's fucking personal
Right.
property or people's rights to just live a nice life. Don't shake your head like this is all disgusting to you.
Yeah. And again, she's like, she thinks that she's putting herself in the celebrity. She's also a celebrity who can't just live her life.
Yeah, without being harassed by the paparazzi and
Right.
drama YouTubers.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else stayed on the public road. Everyone else stayed on the public road, but he walked down onto my private property. And it's
He
like,
doesn't
so you
think he
guys,
has
so
the
everybody
authority
here,
to, but
so-
he doesn't.
huh?
He thinks he has the authority to, but he doesn't. Unless I stand corrected in Washington State and he has a private investigator license, he's fucked, legally speaking.
Well, yeah, the problem is that because of COVID, the first two prosecutors I spoke to want to give me a reason why they want to pursue him. But then the third
Okay.
one said that they couldn't pursue him because of COVID and because domestic violence rates are up, and they're currently pursuing people who beat their wives, essentially, or people who
Yeah.
I
or
do
beat their husbands.
think that Hanson definitely overstepped his boundaries when it came to visiting Onision's house.
Oh yeah, no, I could agree.
Yeah. No, I agree with that too.
Definitely- When that happened, I couldn't believe that's not journalism, and B, it's I guess illegal according to Onion. I have no.
Well, if you remember what was going on that weekend, it sure as fuck changed the news cycle and what was being reported. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, he was getting. Wasn't it at the point he was getting a lot of heat, and all of a sudden he did
There
this
was
to.
a lot. There was a lot of heat on Vince specifically. I don't remember what was going on, but there was a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And there was starting to be a little murmurs, and then that happened, and it completely flipped.
Yeah. He's like, look what I did.
Or whoever. But they were talking about how domestic violence is a priority over trespassing, a New Yorker trespassing on a Washington person's property. That was their
I
excuse.
honestly think that the case should have more weight, personally, due to the level of involvement and bypassing of Washington State restraining orders.
Well, yeah.
What was that?
I don't know, but like one of the cases was a domestic violence complaint Muse filed.
Well, both the cases were domestic. She claimed domestic.
Yeah,
violence,
well,
but-
I'm saying.
Yeah, and he's talking about they're only getting people who are actually beating, and that was why the extortion case didn't really go anywhere. It was because of COVID. There was just too much going on.
Yeah.
To where they're going to go after this person who's trying to extort me for $500.
Right.
There was just too much going on, and that was the argument during the first court cases. There are actual people like getting their ass beat because they're in lockdown. They're nervous. They're scared about their futures. They don't know what the hell's going on. And you're taking me to court because I'm making YouTube videos telling people, this person is trash.
Yeah.
Crossing state lines to commit a crime against a citizen.
Yeah.
Fucked. Yeah. Well, is he done talking about your situation?
Not by a long shot, Mew. What 5 hours after she got done talking about her situation? We're talking.
Yeah. This is probably not a good idea.
Well, I mean, if she's gonna be on this channel like talking shit like this, you have a right
Oh, of
to
course.
respond. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No, this not a good idea for
her, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because of, the backlash that's gonna come from this. Because even in her community of sex workers, a lot of them are very anti Onision for things that he's done and said, and they're not going to be very open to her making a video with him and then going and basically defending him, because you just need to have a shared enemy. You need a community somewhere. You need someone who's going to back you up. So if you can say you have a shared enemy in Chris Hansen, that's good enough.
No, I'm still waiting for the release of my shit. That's why I've been watching and seeing how all of this unfolds.
The
I
release.
took about 7 months offline.
Where is it going to be released?
Discovery Plus. Ooh,
Oh, so he's just doing as much Discovery Plus as possible. He's trying to become a whole Discovery Plus person.
Well, yeah, Oprah just bought stock in it. But that was a few months ago. But Oprah has stock in Discovery Plus.
But what I'm saying is this?
Wait. I want to know about Oprah.
Yeah.
Well, I can answer any Oprah or Discovery Plus question.
Yes. That's why.
Can you tell me about Oprah's investment, and is Gail involved?
So Gail is not involved. She decided to put her money in Dogecoins. So it's just Oprah. Oprah went in on her own. Downloaded Robinhood and put a bunch of money into Discovery Plus, from what I understand.
She seems very worried about it. Discovery.
Here, I get it.
This is funny.
Business model to him.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned, like, how much of this are you aware of? Like, obviously you're aware of Sarah's involvement and that hours long conversation. You can speak to that better than you can.
You mean of me talking to her? Because I'm only aware of that. Yeah. I haven't looked at the other stuff. Yeah, that was 9 hours in one night and like an hour and a half the next morning, I think.
Wow. Yeah. It appears that they're. Oh, go ahead. My apologies.
I'm just looking at this comment saying that they were afraid of Hansen's lawyers destroying the district attorney. I don't know if I talked to the district attorney. I just talked to the Pierce County prosecutors. I don't know. I don't know much about the legal stuff. Like I don't know about the whole legal system. How
Muse will tell you all about it. She knows all about it.
She explain the elevators.
You got any questions?
Don't go in the second elevator. It's way slow.
Yeah. You ever need to file any frivolous lawsuits? She got your back.
To come to.
Yeah.
Prosecutors work and stuff like that. But yeah, they sent me up the chain because I was getting really mad at everyone I was talking to because they wouldn't give me a reason why they wouldn't pursue him. I'm like, you're aiding and abetting someone getting away with a crime by not pursuing this. You're like, literally, you see a crime. I've proven it on camera that a crime was committed. So what's your excuse? And they finally had this really nice lady who know how to speak to humans talk to me about it, who was like their boss. And she promised to straighten out the other prosecutors as far as how they deal with people.
Prosecution teams can be difficult dealing with any type of online arena because the cyber laws still don't have enough substantial backing. I mean, Washington State has some of the more stronger ones
that is actually not true. If you hire the right lawyer who specializes in online defamation.
The channel Discovery Health turned into Oprah's own mini network.
Yeah, Oprah has stock.
Yeah, we call it the Oprah Network.
Yeah, that's right. that is true. Thank you, Donde. Donde just donated. Thank you, Donde.
I forgot what I was saying.
Did Jordan threw you off?
Jordan did throw me off. He always does.
He always throws us off.
But still, with that being said, with the pandemic.
Oh, she was talking about like the tougher cyber laws in Washington State.
Yeah, I was saying there are law firms who specialize in defamation and slander for people who make up claims about you and continue making those claims. Actually making a video with this law firm, so that'll be out soon.
What about the literal DA?
Well, so the literal DA is actual literal bullshit, I found out.
No
really?
shit.
The literal DA that supposedly was getting all of my tweets and videos and building a case against me, hunched over a IBM late at night, typing up a report and also there's supposedly still an open investigation by the FBI into sex trafficking. So
awesome.
Any day now, they'll roll up in their FBI van.
Yes.
How many domestic violence cases there were. I mean, the case with Wes took 8 months. So
No, so that's another. I'm sorry, I know I keep pausing, but
No, it's fine.
This bullshit that it took 8 months. Nothing took 8 months. There was a case that she filed against me that she didn't show up for, and then 4 months later she filed against me again, and it was like 2 weeks later we were in court. There was no 8 months. There was no 8 months of research and people building cases. That's such bullshit. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Were there 8 months of TikToks though?
There were
Definitely 8 months of TikToks.
Perfect.
There were
Yeah.
definitely 8 months of
Yes.
TikToks because you can't be completely offline after being discovered as a piece of shit. You need to be
No.
somewhere.
And
Yeah.
You need to
especially
be
on the
somewhere.
day that you're supposed to be in court too.
Well, if I'm not in court, I'm gonna be making TikToks. I mean, I'm not gonna just be
Absolutely.
doing nothing.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
you got to use your time valuably.
So that's another one of those things I keep saying that trying to make it seem like, well, the reason I left school and the reason why my life's really nowhere right now is because I was in court for 8 months. That's a fucking lie. And it's provable. I mean, it is. The docs are all there. There was no 8 months of court.
Yeah, and even if it was true, she's the one who put herself in that situation. Like,
Of course.
she's the one filing all these frivolous lawsuits. She's making it sound like it was a huge inconvenience. She's the one who fucking did it.
like, and that was like, I had to get an attorney because he had an attorney for a protection order case, which is literally not necessary ever.
Why is it not necessary when I have this person who likes to file frivolous lawsuits taking me to court? Why would it not be necessary to get a lawyer? I mean, that sounds to me like that's why she didn't show up, because she knew there's no way she could lie her way through that one. But the second time, getting a lawyer to represent you, then you feel confident going in to tell your lies. And by the way, never talking, because saying you're too traumatized to speak. So your lawyer needs to speak for you.
Oh, jeez.
And you also have a surgery the following
Well, yeah,
day
well, you
or some
always have a
bullshit like that.
surgery.
Yeah.
You always have to have a surgery.
So too traumatized to talk about it in court, but okay to talk about it with Onision.
Well, Onision's a very calming. I mean,
That is true. That's true.
Doesn't remind me of the Grinch at all. Like,
not
he's
like-
just a dude.
it's not like he's done
sit down, have a nice, calm, normal conversation about your trauma with him.
Yeah.
That guy.
So he got to pay the legal fees for that because he lost. That's on him.
Yeah,
Wow,
everyone got
that's a good clip right there. I love that. That's a nice audio clip to say for
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
He got the. I did get to pay her bullshit legal fees.
Yeah.
And then she takes a giant swig.
Yeah, takes a giant swig of my
A
milkshake.
victory drink.
There, but I mean, that's a funny flex. Fortunately I have the money to pay those legal fees because I'm not begging and scrounging for $30 payouts monthly online. So
Yeah. And you're not
Okay.
on Chatterbait making 33 cents.
I'm not on Chatterbait, and I'm also not filthy on a live stream with Onision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like,
Hanson got-
maybe a clean shirt would be nice for this appearance, but I guess
It would have
not.
been nice.
Guess
I
not.
just noticed that. I didn't notice it before, but now I see the stain.
Yeah.
An attorney, and Repsian got an attorney. Repsian charged his audience for the attorney. They paid him $25,000 or something like that when he only needed to spend $2,000, I guess, for his attorney.
She would never
And-
ask for money for anything, so she's
No.
disgusted.
Yeah, she's gonna be
absolutely disgusted.
disgusted by that.
She's really thinking, is your eyes
Yeah.
moving? How can
She's
I
like-
make
Yeah, I know.
more?
She was like, "How many months of not doing anything is that for me?"
Yeah, yeah.
Also, that's such an odd way for him to like frame the Repsion GoFundMe.
Oh, I
It
know.
was a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
Like,
that they
he
overpaid
put a
on.
Tap on it.
Yeah. That it just shows how much people hate Onision so much that they were willing to just like
Yes,
give
just don't
That's the
Repsian.
point that I always said. I think I wrote the article up of when like the court case happened, and that was the point. The thing I came to was that people hate Onision so much that they are willing to donate $26,000 as a way to say "fuck you."
Right. Yeah. Yeah, which is I don't think Muse has made that in her life.
No, probably
No, I don't even think it's close, actually.
probably not.
Hanson's attorney tried to get me to pay for Hanson's attorney, and they said no. What the judge said was people are allowed to get anti-harassment protection orders against you. They're allowed to do that. So we're not going to make them pay for that because then they're deterred from getting protection orders because they're afraid they'll just get punished for getting a protection order, which is terrifying. Like if someone doesn't want to be harassed, they have a right to take someone to court, and you didn't need to buy an attorney to represent you. Especially since apparently there's a lot of Chris Hansons, and I didn't even talk to the right, or I didn't even send the police to the right
Yeah, that'll
Hanson.
happen.
Because how the
That's-
fuck
yeah.
do you find someone if everyone
Not-
has the same
Not that unique of a name.
name?
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. And
It's
especially
really
if they're a public
Wait,
figure,
was that him admitting some form of fault?
Yeah.
That he did something
apparently.
wrong? And then he
Apparently.
glosses over it, you know?
Yeah.
It's all right. It happens. We all sometimes call the wrong Chris Hansen.
kind of understood where the misunderstanding lied there, but I mean, legally speaking, you still have the obligation if you know, and he made it clear that he knew that he was...
Oh shit! Somebody called her out. Your system is fake. Says this is such a bad idea. She is a huge scammer. So like,
look at the eyes dart down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, somebody is saying this is a bad look for Onision. That's how bad Muse is. That like, this is going to damage Onision's credibility.
Well, there was a brief collaboration with another DID person. No, this is funny. Someone contacted me in September of 2020 saying, "Holy shit, I just watched your Muse video. Muse stole my identity."
Jordan thinks that's funny.
Baby, this is not poop. Frog donated $3.
Thank
Does
you.
Muse use heroin?
No, but I think she uses coke. I think she does coke.
Well, no, I don't know what she does now, but there was some. She admits to some hard narcotic usage in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know what Muse is doing now, but that was something that, you know, part of her original platform or one of her earlier channels was about recovering from that recovering doll, if you remember that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How many names ago was that?
Maybe
Too many
9.
to count.
Right.
So this person contacted me and said Muse had stolen her identity, and that, you know, oh, I was kidnapped by a cult. I have DID. I have EDS. I have ran down this whole list,
Mm-hmm.
and emailed me, and I said, so when's the last time you like spoke with Muse? Well, I don't really know her. I just know of her, and that was it. Like, this person didn't know them, so she wanted me to make it like an exposed video, just because she wanted attention. And so I never spoke to her again after that. And then like a month or two ago, all of a sudden, this girl is live streaming about me and said that I was part of this cult, some sex cult, BDSM sex cult, and that I had contacted her in September trying to tell her that Muse had stolen her story. But I still have the email, so it was really easy to prove. But her and Muse had collaborated. They were getting together and were coming after me and I guess some other members of some BDSM sex cult I've never heard of.
Wes, you shouldn't be allowed to be online.
No.
The people you attract and the things, like, you should be barred from the internet.
That's what I think.
I didn't make any content or anything about this because this is just like a normal thing that happens in my life. Sometimes you'll have people who contact you and say, "Hey, someone stole my story. I was kidnapped by a cult," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And
I know whenever I Twitter DM Wes, like, some crazy shit is
this
popped into my face.
This stream is literally the two worst people, the two people who should not be on the internet, like streaming together.
You mean you and Tiffany?
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But anyway, to finish that real quick, so they got together and started attacking me, and they were attacking Brittany Simon all over again, and that's when the trafficking stories started coming up again. That's when like lawyers were contacted, and it did not end well for that other girl. It ended up with someone doing like a crazy Kiwi Farms write-up on her, and including Muse, and it brought all kinds of new hate onto this other girl who had a larger platform, but it doesn't matter because Muse is so toxic that people were just coming out of the woodwork to attack anytime she did a live stream. So that fell apart very, very quickly. So I don't know how this could end, but this could end up badly for Onision. I mean, there were 80 something people at that stream earlier from his 1.5 million subscribers. So
yeah, it's very strange considering like there's more at mine and
than there were at at his actual stream.
Yeah.
So this person says that you're a huge scammer. What are they talking about?
No idea, Governor. I can't imagine.
When you poop on the floor.
Your system is fake. So due to the fact that I have a highly stigmatized condition, a lot of people, once again, will think that I have made up all of my illnesses for attention. I've been on the platform for 9 years.
Okay, well, how about you show a diagnosis of any single one of those illnesses? Just one.
Yeah, since you made it your platform for so long, just prove them.
It's all your platform is your illnesses, and you haven't proved a single one of them. You haven't shown one diagnosis.
Been out as trans throughout this entire experience online, yet for whatever reason, now that there's any type of clout association to my name, people seem to want to validate anything on the list.
This whole thing with her and the clout thing, I just don't get.
She can't even explain. So why would there be clout on you? If you're saying that you're no one of substance, that you had 1,000 subscribers, why would there be any clout to mention your name? That's what he keeps trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And instead of just answering the question, she has to keep just dancing around. This is not a choose your own adventure and you have your fingers saved on the page. Just say the fucking truth.
Right.
List of attributes. Like, I've literally had my ethnicity questioned publicly.
All right, so when people say the fake GoFundMes,
yeah,
are they just talking about?
Oh, which one? Onision,
you gotta be more specific.
You're gonna have to be more specific on that.
That they want to be fake, and therefore it is fake.
Yeah, they want it to be fake. So I had to leave the adult industry. I also do that sort of thing. I was living with somebody. I was living with Wes, and he has a minor in the home. I was not comfortable with doing my job while there was a minor.
Stop. That is not okay. So there was never any kind of work in my home when my son was here, ever. And the reason why she supposedly quit was because of harassment from Deity online. I still have the text messages. So another lie. Because that was one that she tried to, in the very first court thing, she said that she called the trafficking hotline, not because she was fearful for herself, but she thought I was abusing my child. So she called the National Trafficking Hotline because she wasn't comfortable. I was trying to make her cam with my kid here. Like, why would I do that? I wasn't making any money from anything she was making.
No.
And she didn't make shit anyway. So
yeah. She was living for free. Like,
it doesn't make any sense, but the story has just changed so many times. You could see her, it's like she's trying to remember which story she told.
That's exactly, you know what, you're right.
She has to know that telling these things, they're going to get compared to things she said earlier, and the response will just be, so what?
Yeah. We need Mugnuts to do he needs to.
He's in the chat.
Yeah,
his opinion already.
I think
you're right.
Yeah, what side of her brain is she accessing? Does she have a side of her brain?
The lying.
The lying side.
Of course.
Right.
It's her. That's why it's called the shift, because her eyes have shifted to the lying side of her brain so far that
So I had removed myself from that line of work until I was able to get back into school. Once I had gotten to school, though, they doxed my school, and Wes contacted the school.
Who is they?
I don't know.
And when was the school ever doxed?
No, not that I haven't seen
it. At no point was the school ever doxed. The school was contacted. This was never doxed.
Mm-hmm.
School through 2 different avenues, and security alerted me.
Why? What was the excuse for them contacting the school?
They were worried about the safety of other students.
And what would you?
What a stupid thing to be worried about.
Oh, I know. I love the way she says it too.
Yeah.
Still in school though? Nah.
Yeah, no, fuck that shit.
Nah.
What were they?
But
look how small I am.
That
doesn't
has
mean shit.
nothing. Yeah, it has nothing to do with how dangerous she is.
Right. But does he think that she's still talking about Chris Hansen? Like, the they is like Chris Hansen?
Well, I think that's why she said the they.
Yeah, okay.
To make him think that, me and Chris are like calling, just going online and telling people what school Muse is at. Like, there, no way. Prove it. Prove that the school was docked. Prove that I've been back zone hacking your Twitter. Like, prove any of these things, because none of the things can be proved. So you just make up lies and stories, and you've gotten away with it for so long. And even though now it doesn't work anymore, it's your bread and butter. What are you going to do? Like, learn a new trick?
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. Even people in Onision's chat were calling her out.
Yeah.
What were they saying you would do to other people?
They said that I would frame other students for crimes.
Yes.
That doesn't sound like her, does it?
It does not. Why would someone say that?
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys.
Now, I don't know what's going on with the chin here, but that looks like something that someone who studies, the behavior and stuff would say that's something. I don't know what that is, but that's something.
Well, the look on Onision's face is the same look on my face right now.
It's highly ironic, considering I was framed for extortion.
How?
And
Framed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's part of the new story is that she was set up for extortion. Like I told her about this money she would get to leave, and then she left and started demanding the money, and I'm like, ah ha ha, extortion.
Yeah.
But but not telling the actual. You'll notice nothing about that story. Like, well, I left, and then I accused him of trafficking. He was supposed to give me this money for leaving, and then after I called the police, he wouldn't get. Like, they're not going to give any of those details. Just the flyover view, just real brief.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
and
That money's still owed
what
to
is
me.
Yeah. It's please don't fact check this.
Did you hear that? That money is still owed to me.
she needs it, man.
That money
She
is
really
still owed to me.
She does. She's got chicken fries to buy.
what did they say you did to extort someone?
I had been owed money per a contract that is actually still publicly accessible unless he's removed it. There was a contract when I had moved into Wes's house stating that if I had moved out within a given time frame,
No, that contract was 4 days before she left, not when she moved in, and that's also proven by the date that it was delivered and the text messages.
Wait, if you send her a check for $500, does that violate the restraining order?
Of course it would. Yeah, there's no way I'd be able to send any of that owed money from the non-existent contract.
Yeah.
I use they, them, or he, him. It's fine, either one. And if I had moved out from within a certain time frame, I would receive a certain amount of money. And the money was bigger if I had moved out sooner. So when my surgery had arrived, I literally just didn't go back. I was like, okay, this works perfectly. I don't want to be in your life. You don't want to be in my life. Let's just.
Is that what happened?
Not exactly.
I remember I'm traumatized by saying, "Hey, you're going to need to leave by the end of next month." Oh my God, I'm in a panic right now because you're making me leave, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be living in a tent. I'm like, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I hope it's a nice tent, because you are not my responsibility.
Yeah.
We're done, cool. And it did not end up going that way at all. He told me that I wasn't holding up my end of the bargain before I had left, and I said, do you expect favors from me? Because I'm not that type of person. We've been through this. And that's how the human trafficking allegation had even started towards this man.
She's classy. She's too classy for that. I don't know what.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that though? Like, okay, so she said she left after the surgery and decided she didn't want to be in my life, and I didn't want her in my life. But then before that, though, I had told her she wasn't holding up her end of the bargain, and she's like, "Do you want favors from me?" Even though, I mean, none of the text, nothing, none of that reflects that.
No.
And then that's how the human trafficking allegation started. Like the way it was just dropped in there.
Yeah.
An open investigation, whether they want to think so or not, it's still open. Like the case has
That open investigation.
The human trafficking thing.
With
Clearly.
who?
It's,
It's
still open with Wes.
Yeah.
They're tying that to the Gilgo Beach thing. I think.
Yeah. So the task force is just over like Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
That's when they're looking at me for the human trafficking, and then the Tuesday and Thursday, that's Gilgo Beach.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Wes got a lot on his plate.
I got a lot going on. I'm not just sitting around.
Yeah. He's trafficking and murdering.
So
And why has nothing? Okay, so if there was an open case, why has nothing happened?
Well, because they like to really take their time with traffickers. They want you to get
Yeah.
as many victims as you can.
Because COVID.
They want to drag their feet, and then if you're not trafficking, well, then they have to watch you forever, just in case.
Yeah,
you
just
do.
Just in case you do.
You
I
might-
got a van parked outside my house, and the guy's like, "Hey, you trafficking?" I'm like, "Nah." He's like, "Okay." And then he just goes back to reading his paper.
Right.
All right, I'm looking at some of the comments. It seems like what is the your system is fake have against you? What do you think motivates them to show up here and try to trash you?
your system is fake. Well, inherently, the name kind of gives it away. They're a part of the dissociative identity community. People like to stigmatize having a trauma disorder, but they also like to glorify.
So basically what's going on is like people within the DID community are the ones calling her out.
Yeah. Well, because of her collaboration with that other girl, who is also a very hated person within the DID community, brought them both new kinds of hate from different areas.
Yeah, but nobody's saying that condition is fake. Everyone's just saying that
No,
is fake.
they're saying her system is fake.
Right.
Right. And she's generalizing it to make it seem like they're attacking DID.
Well, because that was also the claim during the birthday. last year. It wasn't just Onision that was contacted. Trisha Paytas was contacted. Several people were contacted saying, I know they're really coming after the DID community right now, and I'm experiencing it.
Right.
And Chris Hansen wasn't mentioned because he wasn't involved, but just about how she was being canceled, and that was the same day that the Onision messages were flying fast and furious.
Online, so there's a lot of people that will say that they have multiple personalities in order to get like clicks and views, things of that nature.
No shit, really?
Oh.
Who the fuck would do that?
Who would do that?
Disgusting.
I bet they would also say they had gastroparesis and EDS and lots of other things. That person would be a real piece of shit.
That would be a shame if somebody.
This is so confusing. I'm like trying to keep up, but I am so lost. But keep going.
Okay, yeah. Well, if you're not familiar with the Muse
it'll
rabbit
clear itself
hole,
up.
Yeah.
It'll clear itself up. It's all going to come together at the end.
yeah, I'm sure it will.
Like
Actually,
The
I
Last
had
Jedi.
videos out in 2017 and then had removed all of my content about that because it had become such a. It felt like everyone was glorifying something that had impacted my life.
Okay,
And
no. She removed all that content after I announced that I'd hired a lawyer for that first restraining order. That's when that channel went completely down and all that content went away. Not a minute before. Because if you remember in that Tiffany Lockheart Who Are You stream, she's saying, no, this isn't going to come down. This stuff is going to stay up forever.
That's
My
right.
channel's not going anywhere. I announced that I had hired a lawyer, and then the channel went away, and none of that content ever came back.
That's right.
So it had nothing to do with stigmas. It was, shit, I can't have people looking into this because they're going to start comparing things I said before with
Yeah.
other things
I'm
because I
gonna
can't
get
keep up
fact-checked.
with all this.
in such a way that it was like not something that I wanted to be a part of.
You can kind of tell by someone's choice in words whether or not they're in a balanced headspace. This person says, you are harboring a scammer. And it's like, first of all, harboring, strong words, scammer, also strong words. It just seems like you're trying to say something to get a reaction out of people. Like most people aren't as bonkers as other people put on. And most people are actually pretty functional. So when you use this extreme language, it's actually ironic.
She's like,
you
not
almost make
me.
yourself.
yeah.
I'm fine, Onision.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. These are two people calling everybody else crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but that's really kind of what it is. That's why
Yeah.
I think they have such good chemistry.
They do.
together.
They do.
That's
They
what I'm saying, though.
genuinely do.
They need to add Crystal because she also feels like everyone else is crazy.
Yeah.
And she would really help them mix up the dynamic.
Yeah, right. Although I don't think Crystal would be patient enough to like let anybody else talk.
No, well, you have to listen to her first, otherwise you're abusing her.
right.
bizarre and not the people you're going after. If you just said like, this person did this, that would be rational. But instead it's like, like people with me, they use the term predator and it's like, okay, so how is this person a predator? Because what they're referring to is somebody who, when they were 16, they said their mom was beating them. So I said, okay, you can be safe here from your mom if you want. And then the mom was happy to get that person out and actually paid, were going to pay us to for food and stuff so we could feed that person. But we rejected that notion. And as I understand, the money went straight to the daughter. And then after rejecting that person repeatedly, they eventually turned 18. And once they turned 18, they were rejected more.
Yeah.
About
What
halfway
a
through being
fucking
18.
bullshit narrative.
Yeah. Well, he's stuck to it though.
Well, and that's the thing too, is though, like neither of them are really listening to each other. They're waiting for areas where they can insert their own story into
Well,
the
that's
story.
it. Onision doesn't talk with people. He talks at people. He doesn't have a conversation. He shares what he thinks is important and then waits for his turn to speak.
And that's what she's also doing the same thing, but she's good enough at it where she'll pretend that she's listening and she's engaged and she cares, but it's really just to throw in, oh, well, now let me tell you about how Chris Hansen damaged me.
Yeah.
Or you're going to ask me a question real quick before I answer that. I want to talk about some trauma that I have based off of this person before I launch into my answer.
Yeah, you'll
they
notice
finally-
when they talk over each other, they just keep talking.
Yeah.
yeah.
They
There's no
proposed
hesitation. They're waiting for the other person to just stop because they have something to say.
that they would only not destroy our lives, as they had joked about destroying our lives earlier, if we had proceeded to do things with them. And my perspective on that was, if I don't do this, then there's basically a guarantee that they're going to destroy our lives. And people are already saying that this person was a victim in the situation. And so I was like, okay, people are already saying this. All she has to do is say it's true, and then we're done. It's over with. But if we do what she says, maybe she won't. She later on admitted in her live stream this was exactly what happened. That she literally said that she would only not destroy our lives, i.e., sign an agreement where she couldn't go around saying horrible things about us if she got what she wanted. And that was made painfully clear what she had wanted. So people then say, this person's a predator based on that. And it's like, so what are you proposing? Are you proposing that I'm going to encounter another person who's going to blackmail me? And then I'll be a victim of that blackmail and I'm somehow the predator in that situation? Like, it's so confusing how that gets into, this extreme language rather than humanizing people and saying there's so much to this. And if you look at the person as a human being, like actually put yourself in their world and see how you would react.
It's so ironic considering he is literally boiling down the entire Sarah story to utter nonsense.
Yeah. And she's sitting there shaking her head and agreeing with it.
Yeah, it's like it completely. I've spent hours on the phone with Sarah and understand all of the subtle nuances of her story. I've listened to Onion's side of the story. I've listened to other people who are around for their story, and that take on that tale that he just regaled just misses all of the actual beats. And it's frustrating that's what he continues to perpetuate, even when the other stories say to the contrary.
Yeah, well, this is two fucking slime bags on the stream together. This is got a pretty momentous occasion to have these two.
In these situations, a lot of people would have probably just kicked her out the moment she said, I'm only going to not destroy your life, or I'm only going to not sign this agreement, which says I won't destroy your life. If you sleep with me, a lot of people might have just kicked her out then and there. But if I had done that, I have the guarantee that she's going to go around saying horrible things about me. So I'm like, there's only one option in that situation to me, at least at the time. And I had convinced myself that this person might be actually a decent person, and they're just that obsessed or something like that. And maybe, long term, it wouldn't be as horrible as the initial situation, but it just got worse and worse. It just got more and more obsessive and creepy and weird with them. And that's why I wound up locking myself in a room and sleeping there at night, because I felt like she was going to kill me. And on that phone conversation, January 23rd this year, she was saying that she's like, I wasn't going to kill you. I was actually just crying into a pillow in the other room. And I'm like, what do I believe? I don't even know. I felt like when your eyes turn, look like they turn black. I don't think they actually turn black, but they look like they turn black. And when you look like you wanted to murder me, I felt like you wanted to murder me. So I don't know what to believe. Anyway, so so that whole thing.
That's what happens when you create a false reality, where nothing actually adds up to the things you say and the words you do, where you don't know what's real anymore. Yeah. That was the closest to him being clairvoyant in this entire stream.
Use extreme language.
I just keep looking at the facial reactions from Muse, and it's like she empathizes with him. She completely understands what he's talking about. And I would love to just ask at the end, I wonder if she would have been able to repeat anything that he had said.
Nothing. No.
Yeah,
no. You guys were. They're not. Neither one of them was listening to the other one.
All he wants to know is what Hanson did to her. That's all he.
That's
wants
all
to
he cares about. Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like I can't take them seriously when they talk about other people. When they say this person's a predator or whatever. And when I use extreme language about other people myself, it's typically because they admitted to what they said or what they did. Sarah admitting or saying repeatedly that she's sorry for raping me, that calls for saying, hey, this person admitted. Just repeat what they admitted to, rather than going around trying to insert your opinion into it.
Only fact of the story he will continue to repeat over and over and over is that one little thing that Sarah said, that she said it under duress. But, let's just forget all the other stuff.
Well, it's like Muse keeps saying, well, I have a 2-year restraining order because I contacted her schools. If that somehow invalidates the trafficking claims, and not even just the claims against me, the claims against the 11 other people who contacted me, those don't even need to get discussed because you have a restraining order against me. Obviously, she tells the truth.
That's generally helpful. So this person in the comments, I don't understand. It just seems like they're bored and they want to get a reaction.
Who in this situation, Sarah?
The system is fake.
Oh, okay. Yes, I would second that. I just try not to endorse it anywhere I go, pretty much online. It happens. I've lost a lot of Twitter accounts due to this issue. Twitter
Oh, here we go.
gets hacked a lot, but I just try not to engage it as much as I can.
Two-step authentication, right? You set that up.
Yeah. The issue is that there's still a way. I haven't figured out how. It's a back end hack, so it's basically
backwards extortion.
Backwards extortion, back end Russian hacking.
I don't know how to describe it. Like
because it's not real. Like, I can't describe shit that doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's not a word
really
for it because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Me send it through. So like it would send me a number. I would go type that into the verification thing, and it would be like error, contact support, and I was like,
that's probably just a Twitter issue.
Yeah, but on 5 accounts, and it's been
that sounds accurate. You know who also got hacked a lot? Vince Nicotra.
Yeah, I remember.
So when you're in the same boat as Vince Nicotra as far as just getting hacked constantly, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because of
that's Wes's rogues gallery. You know?
Yeah.
He's like Batman.
Screenshotted my Twitter accounts as well. You can see how many different Twitter accounts I've had to make, and then with the profile picture, you can tell when he was looking at it because profile.
So what is she accusing me of here? I don't even
screenshotting her Twitter.
Hacking her Twitter account?
I'm hacking her Twitter, and she can tell when. So I hope that there's proof of these things.
Well, no,
because accusing me of these things and knowing that they're lies is illegal.
Corey has the proof, but
Corey has the proof. Well, yeah. I hope Corey's there that day.
No, Corey's gone. Quinn is in charge now.
Oh shit! And Quinn doesn't know nothing.
You'll have to check with Muse with that.
But the problem is Mason has the screenshots.
Mason has the and Mason is in a bad mood today.
Yeah,
Mason's a bit of a bad boy.
Yeah, Mason smash.
Mason kind of Mason does what Mason wants to do.
That is true.
Pictures generally have an indication of when the screenshot was taken. But yeah.
What's your I mean, I think like you said you don't live with any minors now, so you could probably do adult content and all that stuff like you originally wanted.
Theoretically.
No? You are going to?
you can go back to pissing in a diaper, right?
Right. I'm sure people would love if you tag that with BLM some more.
Yeah.
Because people love diaper videos and BLM tags apparently.
Well,
that won't get you chased off Instagram. That is something I heard from last summer. Was that the reason why Muse was chased off of Instagram was tagging ABDL diaper porn post with BLM. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard it.
Not a smart thing to do.
Yeah, I've had to, in order to support myself while I was in school, I had to take a break after court because it did take 8 months.
It did not take 8 months, it was 2 weeks.
For about 7 months. I didn't really have a desire to create any content. If your whole...
And hold on real quick. Court was in October. That was 7 months ago.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So she's got 1 more month where she can't work.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because the whole thing happened in April of last year, is when like my videos first started coming out and everything. We didn't go to court, actually go to court until October, which still wasn't 8 months. Like just making up these timelines, it's ridiculous.
Well, it's funny that she's talking about I didn't have the time to create like. Dude, she's making it sound like she was like I don't know, like a really like great content creator or really busy with like working 2 jobs. Like, you didn't have time to like wag your finger in a TikTok video? Like, what do you mean you didn't have time? You got nothing but time, Muse.
Audience is suddenly attacking you and they think that anything that comes out of your mouth is a lie inherently.
Yes.
Because everything is a lie.
Right.
Yeah, let's count the lies.
It's not really something I wanted to engage with until I knew that once Discovery had released the first documentary that there was going to be kickback. And then
she's implying that Discovery already made a documentary about her.
Well, that's what. Did you see look at his face?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait.
Like there's a Discovery Channel?
He had no interest. Like his whole body perked up because he had no interest in anything she's saying until he heard Discovery again.
Yeah. Well, now this is back. This is back in his wheelhouse. This is.
Yeah. Let's roll it back to something I care about.
Yeah. Right. Like he has some trigger words like Hansen, Discovery. Those are the words like that make him pay attention.
Asarch.
Yeah, Asarch.
I came back around that period in time.
When you
I've
do
known since October that my documentary was coming out.
as far as adult content goes, you say small audience. Are you talking about your? It's not like, is it OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Okay, so did your OnlyFans audience attack you? Because I don't think they ever would, right?
Not particularly, more so YouTube.
Just Twitter,
what I was specifying for the 7-month break, that was YouTube. For my online content creation, as soon as I was back in the dorm, I was able to get my income at least a little bit more back up. But like, I'm still a very small creator. I came on here and you were like, who the hell are you? But like, if I show my face anywhere online, and I've proved this in this chat already because the year system is fake, like, I'm not a noteworthy person, yet wherever I go is being watched. And it's very weird.
She's a pretty big deal.
Look at that's a perfect pause right
yeah,
there.
right?
That is perfect.
I don't mean I don't want to flex, but I'm a pretty big deal.
I'm not a noteworthy person, but everywhere I go,
Yeah, everybody
people are
knows who I
there
am.
to call me out for my shitty behavior.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? That's weird. What a weird thing to happen.
Yeah, strange.
It's very, what is it called? The Barbara Streisand effect?
Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, the
It's
stars,
Everyone's
Somebody took
favorite
a photo
thing,
of her
Barbara
house.
Streisand.
the Star Wars effect. Yeah, the Barbara Star Wars effect.
And she got mad, tried to sue them, and it actually didn't end up going through, and just caused more traction to the website that took a photo of her house.
The Barbara Streisand effect, social flaw.
He's looking it up. Like,
Yeah, he just Googled it.
I hope next he Googles alpha male.
Yeah, hasn't he used the Streisand effect?
I thought everyone's heard of the Streisand effect, where you wouldn't need to look that up.
But I thought he's
this
actually,
sounds
actually like said that before. I could be wrong.
He's probably talking about Barbara Mandrell.
I don't know.
Different person.
Yeah, maybe.
Information has the unintended consequences of further publicizing that information. That's just irony. That's
irony. What this is, actually. Which
yeah.
Is the ironic part.
Yeah.
Is her doing this stream is the Barbara Streisand effect.
It really is.
People didn't care about her. People were done with this story. But now there's interest because she's on here with Onision telling new lies.
Yeah.
So that's the Streisand. I'm sorry, the Storzor.
The Star Wars. The Star Wars effect.
That's what it is. It's the Storzor effect. Like when you go on Onision stream,
the Skarsgård
when you
effect.
want to be left alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to be left alone to your 1.5 million possible subscribers.
Right. Yeah, but you're right. Like Deity was on right away with this.
Oh yeah, and he was so sassy. He was fired up.
Yeah, I saw, man. He was not playing around.
Well, OnlyFans is because I have my own experience with that site and content creation. Everyone has been nice to me as far as ever going there. It's mostly just Twitter and all that stuff. So what I wanted to say was, you clearly have a big issue with people attacking you, and the problem with people in general, it's a lot of good people that get attacked because those are the people who actually care about other people and what they have to say. And so essentially,
look at her smile.
Yeah,
there.
look at it.
She loves that.
To overcome that, you have to stop even giving the time to people on Twitter and so forth, and instead only focus, like take all your care and stuff only for the people who message you on OnlyFans, only for the people that you talk to on OnlyFans, because those again are people who made it past the paywall and actually paid for you to put up with their nonsense or whatever, And
that's why I support you on Discord. I saw you setting up that model, and
No. That is not why he's supported on Discord.
No.
This support has been going on for years and years, and following him for years and years, and that's proven and documented.
Is she an immortal or a veteran?
What do you mean?
Those are the tiers Onision charges for on his Discord.
I have no idea. I didn't realize. So she's paying to be a part of this Discord?
I assume so.
I
can't imagine her paying anything to. How is she?
Oh no! You are wrong.
Really?
A lot of money is spent on Patreons. Yeah, I mean, well, you don't have to make money to just blow it on stupid shit.
Oh, I guess.
But a good amount of money that was being spent on Patreons and Discords, and trying to make it seem like you're this nice person who's giving to others, so that when you need them, you can be like, hey, remember when I gave you that mutual aid drop? Well, I need a place to stay for 6 months, and I'm gonna eat all your food.
Yeah.
Online entertainer in that sense of the word since I was 18. So I'm pretty well established within that community. I've been established.
I don't know.
You're not. Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know. I
There's
can.
so much of I'm a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Normally, well established means profitable, doesn't it?
You would think.
It It should.
But she's saying she's not an online entertainer. I've been very entertained by her.
I've been entertained by lots of streams, and she's had her clothes on for all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
right.
best part.
Those are the entertaining ones.
In the Seattle area for a really long time. I love content creation in general because I think it gives us an ability to connect with our audience. However, when parasocial relationships,
I hate how she talks about herself like she's this big content creator. Like she sponged all of her subscribers off of Brittany Simon, off of Deity, and off of Real Stream News.
Yeah.
Nobody watches her. This fucking The Shift channel. Like she gets like 8 views per video.
Yeah, no one cares. I mean, well, when the Kiwi Farms, when the Kiwi Farms thing went up, and then she got mentioned on there, and I mean, they gave her a pretty crazy write up.
Deservedly so.
People started following her from there, and that's. I think at one point they even tell her on here that like they're coming from Kiwi Farms.
Yeah, well, she's talking about them like they're her fans. Like she's talking about like her. It's like her public.
Yeah, the public is thirsty for more.
Yeah,
for more lies.
Relationships are not in an environment where they can be encouraged, or like the idealization of a creator, because we're just people. A lot of people forget that.
For God's sakes, what? She is fucking Jordan comedy. She's so fucking Jordan. Like she's like
Jordan dramedy.
Look, yeah. Look, we're just people, us huge YouTubers, like
because we have like a cool setup, or we have the lighting. Mine's not on right now because I have natural lighting. That like some
and her videos are all dog shit. Every single one of her videos are shit.
How we're not affected by everything that is going on. I do have a VPN. I was able to get that established fairly early
guys,
on. Along with,
please stop trying to give solutions to problems that don't exist. We're just going to keep hitting a wall. Steve Asarch could sell me unicorn insurance, but I'm not 100% sure the unicorns exist, but I'm going to buy the insurance.
Yeah, you should.
Because if I get abducted by a unicorn, it's going to pay out like a motherfucker.
You'll be ready. If you get trafficked by a unicorn.
That was one of the things when she was in Georgia, and she was trying to tell me that she was in danger. She needed to move because RSN had found her in Georgia.
Yeah.
And he was sending people after her. They were jiggling the doorknob.
Yeah, every door in Georgia.
I think RSN got his group of guys together. They're all wearing black and white striped shirts and ski masks. And he's like, we're going to jiggle every door handle until you hear her behind it.
You're right.
That'd be the only way. And when you hear her behind it, that's the door. And I didn't believe her. And so she'd also told them at the house that someone was doing this, and they had an alarm system installed. Gave her the code never used once.
Right.
So you're fearful. And then there was the post a few months later where she posted and admitted that she has misled the public about her safety in the past.
Whoopsies.
Password locking systems and second verification. I appreciate your guys' support. I'm normally a lot quieter online.
I don't know. It's not worth anything that I say, but you seem pretty sound to me. You don't seem
well, then that's the endorsement. That's just the endorsement that she needs.
That's the clip right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You've spent the past hour and a half lying, or however long this been.
Yeah.
You seem pretty sound.
Yeah. That should be on her banner, like endorsed by Onision. He seems pretty sound. 2021. She seems pretty sound to Onision, so she can't be all bad, right?
Stream, like people go on Hanson, and there's a couple people that look like they were drugged out of their minds on Hanson, and he's trying to treat them like they're rational sources of information. And you don't seem malicious, you don't seem hateful, you're not using much extreme language that I know of, and it's like I see people being an asshole to you, and I don't get it. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
it's a terrible character.
Yeah, put Muse talks in a search engine
and watch the magic.
Watch the magic that happens. Then you might
fireworks.
You might get it then.
A lot of instances, hence why I've had so many people come in my life, and then me having to feel like I need to kick them out of my life because they're either a bad influence on my family or they're just generally not very honest. And
I hope she moves in with Onision. I hope at some point she gets to move in with Onision.
Wait, Kai picks up Muse, and that's like the new next big thing?
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be a fascinating continuation.
What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing.
Yeah, she seems like a great person, according to you.
Yeah, Onision. She seems of sound mind.
deal with people who aren't honest because they're hiding who they really are. And if you're hanging out with people who are hiding who they really are, you're not hanging out with anyone but the lie that they've presented themselves to be.
Yeah,
So,
and I think that one of the really interesting things is a lot of people, I don't know if you only started interacting with like people that you would consider to like being suspicious, or like later on you realized that they weren't holding up to their true intentions, or like their motives weren't aligned. But like with the parasocial relationships, I did not have people who were willing to do interviews, because I already have interviews that are recorded from people that were in my past. I didn't have extreme falling outs until I was even worth being like, oh, I had a fight with this person.
She's had nothing but extreme falling outs.
Yeah, I mean, like the one with Deity happened right before. When I met her, she had just changed her name to something else and was a brand new person.
Yeah.
Because of a recent falling out.
She has like bi-yearly extreme falling outs.
But it's convenient to blame it on Hansen because that's the one thing they share. So if I can tie everything back in my life going wrong to Hansen, then you and I could, we can bond over this.
Well, if she was just talking about Wes Moast, like he would have kicked her off the panel. Like
oh yeah, of course.
Like
that's why I'm barely being brought up, even though the videos were mine. Like I'm barely being brought up because that story is too bad. I accused him of trafficking and had no proof, and nothing happened because I lied.
Well, because he doesn't give a shit about Wet Moist.
No, of course not. So that's why she's not even bringing me up.
Hansen and Steven Asarch.
Yeah, right. That shitbag, Steven Asarch.
How dare I write stories I can't edit?
Yeah, goddamn you.
Things to relationships or friendships are pretty actionable. Like if we disagree, if you cross one of my boundaries, if you lie to me, especially, that's that.
She hates liars. I do know that.
But if you're a nice person,
something I'm noticing from you, this person says, look at the actual receipts, not his rambling nonsense. That's something that.
Where are the real receipts? In case you don't know, just check out. Well, I'll put a link in the description, but check out Wes Moast's channel. There's a whole playlist of actual receipts. And I'm pretty sure she's seen them because
I'm positive of that because I was told about the viewing parties at the house where they would have to watch them.
And I think they were considered domestic violence.
They were.
That people do to me a lot is they just will write off everything I've said. And even though, like, if you were giving me nothing but rambling nonsense, I wouldn't have anything I could respond to. I'd just be sitting here going, "What? I don't get it." But
that's what he's doing though.
Multiple times.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
Points that you're making, they're just saying, "Oh, this is."
But because she like says Discovery or Hansen, it brings them right back.
I really like you.
Oh,
I can agree with what you're saying.
She seems of sound mind to me.
Rambling nonsense. It's like they have this firewall that's just destroying all the information coming to their head, and behind that firewall is just this own narrative that exists to continue to validate their own opinions, so they don't actually have to communicate with other people. That's what's looking like is going on here, and that's why it's hard to listen to one person.
That's you being self-aware, and realizing what's happening with you, but projecting it onto random strangers.
Well, because I would like to ask him to name 3 things she's talked about that was not Chris Hansen or Discovery. Just off the top of your head, name 3 things.
Yeah.
Because the reason he enjoys talking to her is she's leaving spots for him to talk about himself and his experiences in there.
Right. And like vilifying Chris, like she's up here vilifying Chris Hansen.
It says that's nonsense rather than actually having a counter argument. People do that to me all the time. So like, and this is the thing that a lot of people do. They demonize the shit out of me, and then they expect me to believe anything they say about other people. Like, why would I believe anything you say about people when you already demonized the shit out of me? Why would I be on your side? Why would I believe anything you say? Because I know that what you're saying about me is false. So why would I suddenly be your ally in this? This doesn't make any sense. I know that what your nature is, and I know that you, for some reason, look at someone and you demonize them as much as possible so you can feel good about yourself, and like the world is evil and you're the only good person left on earth. And that's just not the mentality that I want to follow. I want to look at people as people and give them opportunities to actually be heard.
Holy shit! Is he talking about himself?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, bro.
Yeah. There is zero self-awareness in this discussion.
Pointing a finger and blindfolding and deafening myself and saying this is the conclusion based on nothing. So
what I've been trying to restructure my online safer workspace as is just I've been doing interviews for people and mainly the LGBTQ community because there were a couple of models that were non-binary that wanted to talk about their experience and things of that nature. So I've been kind of just utilizing my platform to do that instead, and talking about things and concepts that I've learned either in school or in therapy, because I do think it's important.
How about just addressing the bullshit and apologizing for calling the police on people, and apologizing for using people for their own medical experiences to further your own grifting career? How about that, instead of making a bunch of bullshit trying to talk about loving other people and being self-aware, when you completely lack self-awareness, where you've never actually stood up and said, I'm a piece of shit, this is what I'm doing to fix it? Because no one will have any interest in taking anything that this person says seriously as soon as they find out who she is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do that inner work, because like once you've done that inner work, that's why I'm not reactive anymore and they can't prompt a response, is because I've already done I started in February of 2020, and I have
at my house.
Yeah, that's right.
At my house. I drove you there. You're welcome.
And I have 2 to 3 sessions a week with my clinician. So if I was
I'm the double, because it's not working.
The specialist would definitely be able.
I'm sorry, but like I see that a lot with the DID community. That you know, I'll be honest, that it does attract a lot of people with Munchausen's. You see a lot of that where they talk about the number of times they go to therapy per week, as if that somehow proves that I'm sick. I go to therapy 3 times a week. None of them are paying for it. You know, like she's not paying for it. The state pays for it.
Yeah.
You go to therapy as many times as you can, but it's not going to help if you're lying to yourself and your therapist.
Right.
You're just wasting time.
Yep.
You're using a resource that someone else can be using, going in there bullshitting and just telling lies. It's pointless. You're still a piece of shit. 2-3 times per week have done nothing. That person is still a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, just because you go to a therapist does not mean you're getting better as a person.
Like if you're going to the gym and sitting in the parking lot and saying, I go 3 times a week, that's not the same thing as actually putting in work. And this person is putting in no work to better themselves. Just saying things like healing and growing doesn't mean shit if you are still just lying about everyone and everything.
To know, number one.
What are they saying you're faking, or who's?
So dissociative identity disorder is otherwise known as multiple personality disorder.
Right. Can you tell me what triggers another personality?
Well, many things. I mean, it can even be food. Like food associations are a super common one, especially now that I'm able to eat again.
Oh, come on.
Again? Wait a minute.
By the way, do you have any chicken fries?
Wait a minute. Okay, I'd like to hear more, please.
That was another thing that was taboo about my existence as an online content creator. How dare I exist and be able to live happily with a feeding tube and constantly have to move across the country? Like I still maintained.
That wasn't the issue. That wasn't the issue.
That was not the issue at all.
That was
and why were you having to move across the country multiple times?
Well, let's not.
Let's keep that on the QT. He didn't ask that, Tiffany.
But now I can eat again. I mean, I proved with thrown messages. There was constant eating and taking food and hiding it in rooms, not just at my house but at other houses. The frozen waffles. Yeah. Did you eat my box of? I didn't eat your waffles, but no one else. And that wasn't my house. That was someone else's house. But eating an entire box of frozen waffles and claiming they didn't do it, stealing ramen noodles. This person has been eating and has no problem eating. And that's not to point out anything about eating or an eating disorder. But when your entire content is based off of, I have gastroparesis, I can't eat solid foods. My life is really sad. Please gimme. And then you're over here eating chicken fries and, hey, can you guys pick up McDonald's on the way to get me from the hospital that I just went back to because I claim my tube is all messed up.
Right. Yeah. She leaves her formula, but like she takes, the ramen noodles from one of the houses that she lived at.
Well, I mean, formula is formula, but those ramen noodles are like 21 cents a pack.
That is true. That's true.
Level of happiness. And I was completely sober from, that's a good sign for my PTSD, actually, that I'm not remembering the month. Like July-ish, I believe, July 2019. And then now I use medical marijuana to stimulate my appetite. But that is as far as...
What did this have to do with the question he asked her?
Nothing.
And she's just rambling about food and how long she's been sober and you're gonna say like, this person's not rambling. Are you fucking kidding me? If this was a job interview, she would have been asked to leave a long time ago.
Right, and then she's like bringing up her conditions. Oh, it was an opportunity to bring up PTSD and
PTSD,
eating
yeah.
disorder and all this other like bullshit that she claims.
As I go in extracurriculars and that, I don't touch it anymore because of my PTSD.
Did I mention
The
PTSD?
one that had addiction problems. In this
How many split personalities are you aware of existing?
They're not called split personalities.
Okay, how many alternative identities?
Oh, you're gonna love Mary Poppins. But
Well, alternative identities are aliases because, like, I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest,
That's
I'm
what.
working with both.
Well, see, that's the thing is like, again, we're not saying anything about DID. She uses the alts as aliases. That's exactly what. Like this way, you can't connect her fucking crimes.
Yeah, because that person, and I remember that being the big thing. Well, Muse is dead now.
Yeah,
Muse no
Right.
longer exists
she did.
because
Muse did all this
So-
shitty.
An interesting thing is Onision does something similar, if not like, completely the same. He goes from Greg to James.
yes,
And then with Kai, who's, changed at least 3 names from what I know of. Like they do the name change so that you can't follow it as much or as a gotcha in conversation.
but not the like this person has this personality. Like this is Penelope, and Penelope likes cotton candy.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, now I'm mad. I'm James, and I'm pissed off,
Yeah.
rootin', tootin'. And those are like, oh, those are my personalities, and I'm gonna do these switches on camera because I'm trying to get 10,000 views.
Now I didn't watch this. She doesn't like. Does she plug Mary Poppins? Because I got a lot invested into that off Broadway play that
I
doing.
heard there's a song, like there's a professionally recorded song that you're waiting to debut.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
true?
Hopefully, I hope that she brings that up.
Yeah, I don't think she does.
Oh fuck.
I hope
Round
Disney
12.
sues the shit out of you.
they're not gonna touch
the
me.
literal shit.
Yeah.
lost count, but I mean,
Incoming baby, this is not the poop frog. Donated $3.
Thank you, Poop. Not
Onision
poop.
is low-key coming off pretty like Abel in this video.
Yeah, Onision is coming off low key pretty likable in this.
Pretty likable, yeah.
I don't know if it's that. I just don't think he gives a shit. Like I don't even
No,
think
he's just, yeah.
I think he's just not even there.
If you view Onision in only the content he produces and don't look at anything else, he does seem fairly likable.
Yeah.
Like it's just if you look at the broader like plan and the other things that have been said and the claims put against them, that you can start putting the pieces together.
Well,
It's
who
why
else
he's
is-
able to maintain an audience.
That's the same as Muse, though. If you watch her produce content, she seems like a likable person who cares about people and putting good out into the world, who's been wrongly persecuted in the past and has had a pretty rough life.
Yeah.
things have definitely shifted around a lot within being in therapy for so long. So it's more so, I don't like to describe it to people in a way that seems like Hollywood, because that's where you end up with people being like, you're fake. This happens due to the fact that like a role was created in my brain to protect me as a child. Now I'm an adult. I still face traumatic situations, but that space, that amnesic barrier still holds all the memories from that event, whatever had happened. And there's normally different feelings about people, places, things. I will remember certain things and then I won't, depending on who is fronting. But I don't like to view it as something where there's like different people inside of me.
Well, how come someone different came down my stairs and was like, "Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. I'm Mason."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that people do a lot online, is they try to act like somebody having a condition or a state of existence. I'm sure you've been called a transgender at some point.
No, because I actually went back into the closet from the time I was 18 until pretty recently. I was dating men, so I ended up kind of having, I imagine, similar feelings to a situation that you've had. And I didn't want to transition because I was worried about how it would affect those relationships. And to me, those relationships were rather important. And to me, my level of dysphoria is a lot lower. I've been on hormones twice, so my voice has dropped already. I do want top surgery, but it's not incredibly important to me. at this current moment. There's a lot of people that need that as a resource.
You should know in regards to both OnlyFans and dating, regardless of whether or not you get top surgery, regardless of whether or not you're on T, or regardless of whether or not you come out as a guy, there's going to be people interested in that.
Yeah, it's still not.
Is she planning another GoFundMe? Is she setting the seed for another GoFundMe?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but if there is a GoFundMe and there are any kind of, that was when the GoFundMe got taken down last time, is when I brought up the fact that theft by deception is a very real thing. And if you're claiming on a GoFundMe that you have cancer or you have EDS or you have any of these things and you're accepting money on behalf of those and you can't prove them, you go to jail. That is fraud. That's theft by deception.
I know,
It's no different than shaving your head and going into a pizza place and saying, hey, can you guys do a benefit for me? I just had chemo.
Yeah.
And then they do it, and then they find out later that you had just shaved your head and your eyebrows to look really sickly because you're a piece of shit.
I don't fully identify with the masculine template.
Hold on. I just want to drop this on you. There are, I'm sure you're aware of this. There are dominant men, and then there are submissive men. Okay, so
then there are freelance doms. I don't know if you're aware of that.
The people who were, assigned female at birth, they think that they're not transgender. They think that they're not guys because they don't identify with the masculine men. But the reality is, there's a lot of bottoms that are men in gay relationships. Okay, and like me personally, in my own exploration, I realized my problem is that with the exception of Jensen Ackles, I'm not attracted to dominant men. But submissive men, for instance, the character Kirk or Kurt from Glee, very submissive gay guy, I would be totally into that. Even though I'm not really into the actual physical parts of a man, I wouldn't mind it being with.
Being a doesn't have to be inherently sexual. He would be a great service submissive, honestly.
Well, I'm just saying. So, like, if you don't identify with certain masculine traits, even on Modern Family, that's a good example of covering the bases and homosexuality. There's a person that relates so much with women, but they're a man, and so it's like so complex, and it's like part of the reason why I think that gender is kind of.
Are we just doing pop culture reviews?
Yeah,
now?
I think we're really just kind of just saying whatever pops into your head.
Yeah,
run down that trail, because I don't understand how this went from like a Chris Hansen. Now we're talking about Modern Family and top surgery.
And just a normal, casual conversation.
Just two guys hanging out.
Internet people,
Yeah, I'm like, Muse is probably like, do I need to be here for this or?
Stupid to have in the first place, because there's a wide spectrum of what people are even interested in. But if you're thinking, you got to be Thor or like Chris Hemsworth to be a guy, it's not such an exclusive club. Like, and also women aren't girly girls 100%. There's a whole variety of women too, tomboys, and then there's not. But a lot of what transgenderism, based on everything I've seen, and being married to a transgender person, what it comes down to is whether or not when you look in the mirror you hate what you see, and if you hate what you see, what do you want to change? And if what you want to change is having a female presentation, then you're probably a guy. If you hate the female presentation and you like the presentation of a male presentation more, like you want to wear the typically guy clothes and you don't want to have a heavy.
It's nice of Onision to break this down for people.
Yeah,
I'm sure people like I feel like I'm doing my kid a disservice by not sending him this, because I'd like him to hear this. Like, this is Onision. He's going to explain to you that some women.
Incoming baby 40-year-old decoy donated $5.
Thank you, decoy.
Decoys can be anything, top or bottom, in the chair or on the beach.
That's right. They could be any. The limits are just your imagination, 40-year-old decoy. But yeah, I don't know why he just hasn't kicked her by like, there's like, why does she have to be here for this?
Because he's fascinated by her. As this is the rare, as I said, the rare opportunity where Onision is enjoying a conversation, because he's used to just gotchas on these.
Yeah.
Presentation and curves and chest and everything like that, you're probably a guy. And it's okay to accept that, and to, if you want to get top surgery. And if people talk to me and they say, or they talk to my spouse and they say, like, oh wow, it's so amazing that your husband stayed with you through all this, and it's like, why wouldn't I? It doesn't make sense why I wouldn't stay with him.
People talk to Kai. We've been trying to hear from Kai for like almost a year now. I'd love to talk to Kai.
Well, that's like the what is it? Is it not Jehovah's Witnesses? Who is it? the Scientology guy, that's wife has been missing.
Oh,
right?
David
He's like,
Miscavige.
yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, people have talked, but no one's seen her.
Yeah, what happened to Shelley?
Still the person I'm with. That's like saying that's like comparing, being transgender to something bad. It's not
Exactly.
bad.
Yeah.
And if you love the person who is transgender, there's nothing that's going to change in the relationship. I mean, unless of course that person suddenly wanted to be a top, and then that would be a problem because I'm not into that. I don't, I explored that. It's not fun. Don't like it. Moving on. Because they say don't knock it till you try it, and so
I mean, certain things you don't have to try. Sometimes you inherently know, and that's safe. You gotta be.
I just wanted to know what I was talking about.
Okay, now get the fuck off, Muse.
No, for sure. I've never actually been with a top guy. I'm just saying, there's numerous ways you can explore yourself and find out what you're into. And I found out I'm just into submissive people, like submissive personalities, but also really mutually loving, happy relationships with people. That's
cool. I always wondered how much of I don't remember the year of this, but when there were allegations of BDSM, I was like, I mean, it wouldn't be that shocking because poly people, they're not all poly.
What does she mean, allegations of BDSM?
So this is her way of asking him if he is involved in BDSM.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Like, they don't all do BDSM, but there's a high crossover level. And I don't think that it's fair either to extort that information if you do happen to have it, because it's deeply personal. The kink community is still something that I have a soft spot in my heart for, but I've seen a lot of damage and accusations in regards to that community. So it's a hard one for me. I definitely do have nostalgia for that time in my life.
Didn't she cause a lot of damage to that community? I thought she did.
Well, I mean, yeah, if we want to...
Oh, if you want to be technical, I guess.
Saying the truth and
yeah,
telling
that's
things how
true.
they are, yeah.
I apologize.
Yep, it's Muse Talks, also known by a different bunch of names.
A different bunch of names.
Now she's Muse... I thought Muse Talks was dead. I thought Muse was dead. What do you mean?
Well, again, if you want to start bringing up details and accuracy, yes, Muse is dead, but no, Muse is not dead. That's Muse right there.
Yeah, if people recognize you, oh, well, yes, that's me. But if people start
Actually,
saying,
are
you that piece of shit that accused somebody of human trafficking? What? No,
never. That person actually died.
That was Muse. She's gone. She's dead.
Right. So I was
a little taste sliced her up good.
Supposed to stop this live stream about 45 minutes ago, but you're so interesting that I kept it going. Thanks for actually coming and talking.
Oh, thank you.
Someone said that's the same obsessed loser. Your system is fake, and you're obsessed loser because you're actually showing up to a live stream and trying to cause someone heartache and trying to make your life less happy. And the other day when I stopped live streaming, I felt like shit, and I think that's because someone came in and told me that I should be raped in prison, and I felt like that was such a deeply disturbing and upsetting thing to say to someone. Like, even if I have a lot of experience,
he's got feelings too, guys.
Saying stuff like that to people actually hurts them, and so when you show up to hurt someone, you're very, very rarely looking like the better person. You're very, very rarely actually being a good person. What you're doing is you're being a very shitty person, and you're going to say things.
Well, Muse would never try. Oh, go ahead.
On me, and said I got Steve Buscemi eyes, or some other one of the other crazy things. Like,
do you have Steve Buscemi eyes? I know someone who would be really into that.
No. I am not in any way have any sort of Steve Buscemi eyes. He was just looking at a very shitty screenshot of me.
Horrible to people that you didn't need to show up. They're not even really interested in talking about you or to you, yet you're here and you're trying to be a bad person, and that's why so many people who pretend to be heroes are actually villains. So to that person, even if you were right about this person I'm speaking to, I don't care because of the fact that you were being horrible about it. If you're going to show up to a discussion, be respectful and be coherent, and don't speak in extremes, especially when you're talking to people who there's no incentive.
It's so odd to hear him say that stuff.
Yeah, it's even odder knowing that she is nodding in agreement. Like
both of these people have screamed and made falsehoods and strawmanned their arguments.
Yeah,
and He, in front of 7,000 people screamed and called me a parasite and a bunch of other shitty things. And I'm just like, how can you preach positivity and then in the same breath also condemn other people who criticize you?
Well, that's the issue with Muse and all the feel good content about, being mindful and this and that, when this person has put so much pain out into the world for no reason other than to cover their own tracks. And after a while, that spider web that you build for yourself. You just get trapped in it, and that's what's happening, because every attempt to do something, whether it was that Jessica Drake, is that her name? Jessica Kent.
Yeah,
Jessica Kent video. Jessica Drake, like a porn star, but like the Jessica Kent video that she did, and she was in the video talking about even then how she left the internet on her own. I don't even remember, but it was bullshit. And people were there in the comments of this video saying, "Oh my God, that's Muse. That person is a predator. You can't have them in this video."
Yeah, and she was cut out of that video within hours.
The next day,
yeah,
cut out of the video. And this again, Muse does have like 1,200 subscribers, and the fact that you can go and be on this large YouTuber's platform, and you're just a 45-second part of a video. And within hours of it going up, there's people calling you out because you have done shitty things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can go comment on videos, and no one knows who the fuck I am. But you have done such shitty things that people know and they're aware. And even with the multiple name changes, they're like, "You need to watch this video because this person is a bad person."
Yeah.
To create identity disorder, there's no incentive to create a gender or anything like that, because that's like.
There's no incentive to create an identity disorder. I think there is an incentive to create that.
Yeah.
A lot of like financial and like,
Well, why would anyone with Munchausen's do anything? Those people who pretend they have cancer, a lot of them aren't doing it for money. Munchausen by proxy, when they're getting their kids sick, a lot of them aren't doing it for money. There are some people who do, but a lot of times it's just for the attention. And you'll notice with those people, like the textbook knowledge of terms and different things, but the way they describe symptoms is also very textbook, because they can't actually say what it feels like to have chemo. They only know what they read or what they heard from someone else.
Yeah.
From these firsthand interviews that you do to gather information.
That shit makes people's lives harder. It's not fun to struggle with your identity. It's shitty. It's pretty fucking shitty. And when people look at you differently and all that because of that, like that just makes you shitty to them because they're already struggling. So that kind of shit, I'm not gonna look at you and go, "Wow, what a great person for being so shitty to someone in the comments." I would think that I was shitty for being shitty in the comments to someone too. Like if you have a problem with someone, maybe talk about the group of them or how they actually are related to you and not just attack some random person online. Anyway.
Yeah, you're good to get off to your thing though. I had messaged into the private chat because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't harboring you. I don't need that allegation. No one's harboring anyone, guys. I hope that everyone has a great rest of your day.
Right.
You're welcome to message me on Discord if you ever want to talk. And I
Will
hope you
do.
have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Bye.
Also to everyone, just so you know, I am.
Okay. The rest of this shit doesn't. The rest of this doesn't matter, does it?
No.
He's
okay,
just gonna
good.
plug his shit.
Yeah. Okay. You're not getting a plug here, Onision. So. Yeah, Muse talks. She resurfaces. Boy,
Talks
oh
and
boy.
talks and talks.
Yeah, does Muse ever talk? Yeah. So that was something. All right. Yeah, I guess I can wrap this up. Wes.
Yeah. Thank you, Clobber, for hosting. Thanks for being here.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. So. Yeah, again, follow Wes on Twitter, follow him on YouTube. If you want to hear more about Muse Talks, who apparently, she didn't do anything, or she doesn't know why so many people just can't stand her.
Plucked from obscurity.
Yeah, plucked from obscurity and then just vilified. So two villains, or two people falsely vilified right here. So thank you, Wes. Miss Lockhart, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Not really. No, I was actually, I would have preferred that you not be here, but.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
and of course that what did he call you? That
Stephen Asarch.
Steve Asarch.
Yeah, but that
I
bag.
got Stephen Ascratch once.
That bag of shit, Stephen Ascratch. Follow him on Twitter. He'll probably be doing some shitty things and saying some terrible things about Onision.
I mean, I try not to talk about Onision that much. I do investigative reporting work on the digital culture space.
Yeah, really good story about EDP. If you guys haven't read that, he did a really good piece on that.
Yeah. Most definitely. So, well, thank you, Stephen, for hanging out with us tonight. Because, like, you're talking to like the me and Wes and Tiffany. We really don't know much about Onision. I think I'm safe saying that, right, guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
Well, I think most people don't know anything about Onision.
I mean, we know like a little bit.
Here, yeah, you know the catchphrases and you know the headlines.
Yeah.
But like, there's so much subtle nuance in his work and the craft he puts into creating. Like, I think just because I've had to read so much of this stuff and watch so much of this content, and I've interviewed nearly every victim who's come forward with allegations, that there's just like, he creates his own narrative, and if you don't understand the full scope of the situation, you can get caught in and end up not knowing as much as you should. And I think that's, a problem when dealing with a lot of these personalities, because I don't really know much about Muse.
Right.
Like, I learned most of it probably from this, just because these people, there's so much information out there, and you can only know so much before your brain just pops.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about just learning about problematic people and following them. It does start to drain on you.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, man. I need to switch careers. I'm going to start like a farm. Start
That's a good idea. So yeah, that like we get the Muse stuff covered, but like we did again, like it was good to have you on to provide some insight onto Onision, because we don't know much. So I appreciate you coming on for that.
Yeah, man.
All right.
No problem.
So everybody, thank you in the chat for hanging out. I know it got a little ugly in there for a little bit, but it seemed like that cleared up. So I'll be on again with some more fuckery probably this weekend. And yeah. Anything final to say, guys?
No, thank you, everyone.
Tiffany?
No, thank you.
All right. Steven?
I'm a banana.
I'm a banana. All right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. And until next time, goodbye, my precious princess.